What's good, people? Can everyone hear me? We started True Talk Tuesday, Black Leadership. What's good, people? Get rid of that echo. Also, yeah, at least I know I'm coming through nice and clear. Come in, people, come in. You know the routine as you come in, hit the like button, share the link out. Today's an open panel. The link is in the chat. I'll continue to post the link. Today we're talking about true uh, black leadership and black organizations, what they're like. We're going to talk about what we need as black people as far as organizations go, and I want to hear people's opinion on the current organizations that are out right now. So anybody who's seen the flyer or seen the cover flyer will know that includes the Nation of Islam, the Hebrews, ADOS, Caricon, the list goes on. But as you see him, call him out. Aswagwan Jamal.
Peace.
Yes, brother. What's that? Is that fresh? Is that fresh shaved head?
What are you talking about?
Head looks nice and fresh.
Yeah, you
What's
already
good?
know, man. We post quarantine over here.
No doubt, no
They got
doubt,
the
no doubt.
barbershops open now.
How's it going in New York, brother? Talk to me.
It's on the upswing. You know what I'm saying? Everything's starting to open back up. People starting to stop tripping. You know what I mean? And there's a lot less fear in these streets. You know?
So what? No new cases down them ways there.
Nah, New York
They're
straight.
not,
You know what I'm saying? That
okay.
that that makes me believe more that this shit was bullshit. They was doing something, man. Because New York is hella crazy as far as people around each other. You know what I'm saying? Something else was going on bigger than what we know about, in my opinion. You know, because it ain't
Mm.
no way. Even somebody like myself that's been out here protesting damn near almost every day amongst hundreds of thousands of people, it don't make no sense that I ain't dead yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it right now.
No, I feel you on that one, bro. I feel you on that one. But this kind of leads in because obviously protests have been going on, stuff's been moving on the roads. So as far as organizations goes, let me start off with you. Let's start off like this first of all. What's your favorite organization? What organization do you see out there on the streets, whether it's old school, new school, that you think embodies the most amount of positive attributes and kind of does what they say on the tin? And obviously, every organization is different or geared towards different things, but without getting into those, what organization do you see out there as a black organization that's going on with something?
Um, it's tough to call because, to be honest, I don't see like organizations as a whole um doing things. I see the regular everyday person out there making things happen as opposed to a specific organization, because most of the organizations that I see, they're kind of playing it safe. Even the ones that have gunplay going on, they're kind of playing it safe. Like we had the NFAC out there, um but I kind of felt like, it was okay, but they went and they
Wait,
and they
wait, wait. Who are they? What does that stand for?
I
Who are
don't
they?
I can't even tell you. It's a rifle organization, a black rifle organization. So what it stands for, I'm not really sure. But a
Okay.
lot of people have been talking about them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say nothing that ain't accurate, but a lot of people have been talking about them. But I saw the video of them marching to a what do you call it? A KKK building. See what I'm saying? Or even a rally or whatever. But I felt like, it didn't do, it don't do nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like the people that really did something is the ones that had these hold on one second. Uh, the ones that really did something was the everyday uh lay person that wasn't attached to any organization, that just had enough. I felt like everybody else was kind of scared. It was like, they talked a good one, and some of them even took credit for work they didn't even do, which was kind of weird. It was like, the thing that really orchestrated change And what I saw was when people was out there banging and banging on the police and burning down police precincts. Like within that week, we had 4 officers arrested. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. See what I'm saying? So when everybody was doing the peace stuff, it kind of went right back to where it was. And a lot of the organizations was about that. Now, you know, I did see the Hebrew Israelites out there lined up, right? And marching, but I didn't see them bang on nobody. You know, I saw the Nation of Islam out there, but I didn't see them bang on nobody. Even the
Well,
folks,
that's what I was gonna ask you next, yeah, about
not one.
you must have listened to that Farrakhan speech.
See what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm not, you know, I'm just not with the fake shit. That, you know me, like I'm not, you know, we was out there and we tearing shit up, letting them know if we can't eat, ain't nobody gonna eat. That's how we feel. You see what I'm saying? If y'all gonna try and kill us, we're gonna try to kill y'all. That's how we see it. It's all the marching and all that. Those days are over. We can't keep doing the same things that Martin and Malcolm did and expect a different result. That's what got us where we are today. That's how I see it. You see what I'm saying? And there's some people that's just more reserved. You know, there's a time for that, but I felt like the ones that were really important were the ones that said enough is enough, and that was the everyday person. There wasn't no organizations involved. Once the organizations got involved, things started slowing down. If you notice, once the organizations got involved, Black Lives Matter, all these motherfuckers, like once they started showing up, the movement started changing into something different. When it was just a regular, everyday lay person out there getting it cracking, things was happening fast. Things that hadn't happened ever in the history of America started happening by the multitudes. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I saw it, and because I was out there, so I know who was who. You know, I seen the crowd change from 100 people
Jamal
to 100,000 just like that. So
Jamal,
it's like
Jamal,
you ever seen that movie 300?
Jamal, can you hear me?
They could have 3,000-4,000, but that 300 was the ones that really did the work. They're the ones that really set it off. So as far as organizations, I'm sorry, I really can't ride for none of them because they talk about it. They say, yo, we got an army. All right, so let's see your army in action. Show me the clips. Show me the videos of y'all banging on the beast like we talk about. Because everybody talks about banging.
Can you hear me?
But we don't see no evidence of it. And that's what really blows my mind. Because the ones that's doing the most talking ain't never banged on nobody a day in their life. Ain't never been in a
Jamal,
crowd like that.
can you hear me?
Looks like an anarchist revolution type crowd. They ain't never been in those type of situations or been the one that's throwing tear gas back at motherfuckers.
Bravo,
you know what I'm saying? Getting locked up and arrested. I had people hitting me from the paddy wagon out in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Mar, what we gonna do? Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, yo, just chill. You're gonna get out tomorrow. Trust me, because there's too many of us. They can't hold all you. You see what I'm saying? Those are the type of conversations that I was having. And it was with regular, everyday people not attached to no organizations. The organizations didn't want to put their organizations on the line like that and had a name being talked about as the ones who was starting shit. The regular, everyday person did not care. They did not care how they was being talked about. People was telling me, why you out there? They riding, boom, boom, boom. I said, because, bro, this is what they did to our continent. This is what they did to our people.
Hey, Jamal,
I don't hear nothing about no riding after they don't rape my mama and pulled out the goddamn babies out of her womb and raped daddy and granddaddy and killed, hung cousins, aunts, and uncles, and now they modern day shooting niggas dead in the street. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear nothing about no peace talk when we see historically what these people do. What has peace talk gotten us? Martin got a bullet in his head. Huh? Malcolm got shrapnel all through his chest. We're not trying to hear none of that. It's the regular, everyday person that's going to orchestrate change, not these organizations. These organizations have been sucking funds for the last how many hundreds of years? 400 years. They've been sucking funds. That's all they've been doing, and building bigger churches, mosques, whatever they want to build. But I ain't seen them crack one cracker head yet. Not one. If you ain't cracking nobody head, you really not doing nothing in 2020 at this point, because we already seen everything that they doing and they don't orchestrate no change. So that's how I see it as far as organization. And then if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Show me them cracking somebody head open. Because that's the only thing that's going to work right now when you're killing people. No paperwork, no marching, none of that is going to work. They only respect the bullet and your hands being put on them. That's the only thing they respect. So that's how I see it.
Yo, can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me? Jamal, I don't think you can hear me, bro. Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you.
I know everyone on YouTube can hear me.
I hear you now. Sorry.
Yeah. That's all. That's I was gonna say, cause I've been calling you, say Jamal.
My fault. I had to mute the phone and it muted you by mistake. So I didn't hear none of that.
I thought it was me. I thought it was me. Now I was saying there the Farrakhan speech. Okay. What do you think of that? Because I know you listened to it.
Yeah,
I know you heard something. You got people talking about it. So talk to me about that one. Because again, this is about organizations and leadership. Yeah, you understand? So as far as the individual goes, like you're saying, on the Farrakhan one for starters, what did you think of what he was saying? Did you think they were taking credit for stuff? Do you think what he was saying was poignant? Talk to me about that. And big up to Konsu. Hold up, sorry, brother. Big up to Konsu in the chat. The link is in the chat. Anybody that wants to come on, just jump on. The link is there. We're talking about black leadership and black organizations, future tense, and the ones that are currently existing. So jump on, say your thing. Yeah, go to brother.
That Farrakhan, much respect to Minister Farrakhan. I think that everything that he says is right on. But I also think that he didn't say nothing new. I also think that it was typical. You know what I'm saying? As far as where we ought to go now, like to me, the vibe that I got from it is that he's at the age now where it's time for somebody new to step up from the nation and really be that voice piece, because he's getting up there in that age where it didn't have an impact like it used to when I used to watch the young Farrakhan. Not to diminish anything that he said, you know what I'm saying? It's just at a time where we need that new, fresh, young, vibrant, bull word from the nation at this point in time. But nothing that he said to me was incorrect. I think that we could learn a lot from the nation. A lot of people could learn a lot from the nation, and they're stepping stones to your liberation. And I think that Farrakhan is a strong stepping stone that people need to study. You see what I'm saying? But as far as like the nation being an army, I don't see that. I never seen them crack a nigga head open. I never seen it. I see a lot of times the intimidation factor, but that doesn't work on the white man. They're not intimidated.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, hold up. Let me ask you this here. When it comes to organizations that need to push change, so again, we're at a point, there's marches, there's stuff already going on the roads. Cool. We're trying to push through an agenda. Can that be done with a religious-based organization? So,
no.
Nation of Islam, per se, because again, we had the head of the European representation of Nation of Islam on our channel during the Farrakhan or before and after the Farrakhan speech, and listening to him, there's enough programs that they're trying to push in the community and stuff. But when I was listening to him, I'm hearing him talk about Farrakhan in the same breath as Jesus Christ, quite literally. Like, can that work? Like, for you, when you look at an organization, is that a hindrance or is that going to help? Is that something that we can still all get behind? Or again, do you think they in turn, as a leadership angle, can cater to all black people without that side of themselves getting in the way? Or do you think as black people, as our, we've got all our eclectic mixes, do we just need a non-religious type of party or movement to be going forward with?
I think you just answered the question, because everybody don't subscribe to Jesus. And there's more people now in the black community no longer riding with the Jesus bandwagon than there was previous years, and rightfully so. So if you're going to use the premise of a God, right? It's only going to take you so far, because we're now fighting beings who are clearly non-spiritual beings and soulless beings. So trying to incorporate God, it's like what the boy said. He said, what's the king to a God? What's the God to a non-believer? Right? What is your God to a non-believer? They don't care. They will chop the head off of your Apollo. They will chop the head off of your Jesus. Chop the head off of your Allah. They don't care. When they bust you upside your head, do they first ask you what religion you subscribe to? You tell me. Do they see you as a religion before they put the bullet in your head? No. So how then can you push on me that a religion is the answer for black liberation? It's a fucking lie. Huh? Either you're going to tell the truth or you're not. And that's the way I see it. Years ago, that might have worked when we wasn't in the age of information where people could dig it up. But now you're just coming off as a liar. You see what I'm saying? Because people have the knowledge now. So now you're going to have to operate from a position that they understand. Because all of this religion didn't work for all of these years. What is supposed to work today?
So what about when people say like, there's spiritual aspects to this war, and we obviously still need our spirituality while we're pushing the narrative forward to fight? What do you say to them people?
Don't get spirituality confused with religion, because spirituality was here before religion. It was here before religion. So when you try and group spiritual, here's the thing. People got to understand the wordplay, because a lot of this is spells, right? We're dealing with energy. First and foremost, the root word is spirit. Spirit comes from the root word, from the Latin word pneuma, right? Or pneuma, which simply means breath, air, wind. That's what spirit means. Breath, air, wind. This is a fact. Okay? So now, when you get into spirituality, right? You're talking about how people breathe, right? Their air, their wind, nothing more. Anything else is spookism that you have been miseducated on. It's spookism. Because we don't know the spells that are being used here in the United States, they can tell us anything. So now they've linked literally respiratory issues, to a God sitting up on a cloud that's supposed to save you from your situation. But because we have educated ourselves on the matter, we have no idea. When you put an S on the end, spiritualities, you're dealing with money. Look it up.
Currency.
The definition, you're dealing with currency. Spirituality. You see what I'm saying? So, if we really going to talk about it, let's discuss it. For real, for real. Spirituality has nothing to do with religion. Religion is taking things that bind the mind. It's putting them literally in a box, right? When you're trying to figure stuff out, if you realize we're already in religion, we already realize that this box isn't working. Now we're in the age of free thinking, where we free ourselves from the cages, free ourselves from the boxes that we've had for the last 400 years that weren't working. So we can't try and put spirituality and religion in the same context. It's two totally different things. Now let's flip to the other side, to other people's things, to a higher level. I understand what people are saying when they say spirituality, right? Some people are speaking in terms of energy, vibration, right? But at some point, if you see that one energy, one vibration is not breaking down the walls, you're going to have to shift that energy. If you see peace ain't working, then you may have to use violence. See what I'm saying? And I think 400 years of us laying dormant and being peaceful is enough. Actually, I think that's well overdue. Anytime we had change for black people, it came by force. It didn't come by paperwork. It came by real revolution of people chopping niggas' heads off. This is a fact. And those people.
Let me ask you this. So again, coming back to current day, when you're seeing what's going on road, are the current things that's out there, ADOS, CARICOM, whatever, the political now, the non-religious entities, which one again do you think is hitting the most marks for black people as far as what we immediately need? And again, I already hear you that enough for them. The system has to change in how we go about getting certain bits and bobs. We're in a debate as far as whether or not we've reached or done some of the things from the past. That me and you can discuss. But in your opinion, which one is hitting the most criteria out of the ones that are currently around? The political, non-religious now.
The political ones.
As far as I remember, let me narrow it down. Just as far as the reparations conversation, the economic empowerment side of it. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the real subjects that come under the politics side. So in that realm, what do you think? Which one for you is most palatable?
I'm gonna have to say probably ADOS, because you have to have a connection with the people of Africa. It has to be somebody that's connected to the mothership, because if you can't link the people here in America with ancient Africans, and if we're talking about reparations specifically, you're going to have to be able to link the people here and their identity with the ancient Africans in order for them to even qualify for the things that we need.
Hold on. You just said ADOS, right?
Yeah.
But they're against that connection.
They're against what?
The connection to Africans.
They're saying that American. They're saying that I'm sorry. I thought it said African.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's easy for us to say. There's remember, it stands for American descendants of slaves.
Oh, so they think that the people in America are the descendants of slaves?
That's it. The whole thing is about you having bones and ancestors in America.
Well, here's the thing. So, some of that is true.
So
too.
They're not. Hold on. They're not including no one from South America. They're not including. They're only saying, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I remember, 16 million out of the 35 million black people in North America, those are the only ones they think should qualify for reparations based on their lineage. So anybody that carries a mixed heritage, West Indian and American, Cuban and American, whatever, you're out. You have to have this descendants of slaves.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Speak on that, because I'm looking your face and I can see the dismay on your face already. That is ADOS.
That's the problem with organizations, bro. That and this is when you cannot put this thing in the box. It's not gonna happen that way. This is the problem that I have with any organization. Really, it's not gonna come from that. All of those walls have to be broken down. All this click up shit, like this is my clique and this is your clique and this is how we do it, because that's what it is. It's just clicks. Different with people with different perspectives of how this thing's supposed to be laid out instead of just being free. So once we tear down the labels and stop saying, yo, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm black, I'm a Moor, I'm a Christian, I'm ADOS, I'm gay, whatever you want to put it in, all these little cliques that they got ain't gonna do it. Because the change that I saw, like I said, that came about was from the everyday person that came together. We didn't know what these people were. We just know that they here and they ready to burn down the police precinct like we are. We don't care. We don't care where they came from. Because see, the leaders of this movement is really RBG. It's Pan-Africans. They're the ones that really lead this movement. Despite what people are saying about Black Lives Matter, and they don't run this shit. They just show up. They show up.
But you see, that's the thing. And I'm hearing you, but doesn't there inherently at some point have to emerge a leader or a spokesperson at least for the RBG thing? Because until that happens, as you said, others can just ride that wave. The little black line, look, you can see the Black Lives Matter symbol there with a little rainbow in the back. Whoever's running that foolishness can come in now and co-opt the movement again.
That's all right. That's all right though, because guess what? These people exist. There's nothing you could do. That's not they're gonna just disappear off the face of the earth. We don't care if they support the movement. We don't care. We just want the work done. We don't care who's doing it, and we don't need a face for it. That's the problem now, because every time you get a face, they blow their fucking head off. And then there goes the movement. You see what I'm saying? When it's faceless, that's a dangerous movement to be in.
Listen, again, yeah, but this is the thing though, brother. Yeah, I hear you in the early stages. So when you are trying to create that initial energy wave, when that civil unrest reaches a certain level, cool, everyone's kicking off. We're doing this thing, we're moving forward. But at some point in time, if that's not the society that you want 24/7, then at some point someone's got to stop and speak about what they want. Or when you've burnt down the last building, now someone's got to address the crowd and re-come with some shuffling. So that's why inherently there's always a spokesperson, a leader that emerges. Now, whether or not they're destined to be martyred, killed, whatever the case may be, that's another argument. But we're talking about the facility of needing someone to step forward. And if someone doesn't do it, then as we said, any of these guys then can step forward with these next agendas and co-opt the movement. You understand?
I understand that if you're speaking in terms of a nation, but America is not a nation. Once you get rid of that ideology, that America is actually like Germany or China or all these other actual nations, then we can start talking that leadership. But right now, America is for sale. Anybody could take this because it's a company. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole different machine. So you got to treat it as that. Anybody could take America over, right? But America might not necessarily be on this land. America could be anywhere because it's a company. It could pick up and move wherever it want to go. Tomorrow, America could be all Chinese people and China could be running America, or Russians. Just like that overnight, because it's not actually a nation. So you don't actually need somebody to speak on behalf of Americans and what they're going to do, because we're trying to dissipate the whole American agenda altogether so that black people can be free. The problem
is even under the freeness, though, black people are going to naturally group together. That's what they've done. That's what we do. That's socialization of human beings, where you group together with people of like-minded or like skin or phenotype, whatever. So again, when we're saying Black Lives Matter, again, without getting into the we're a Moor, this one's a Hebrew, whatever, we're trying to use something to quickly classify and identify us. So when we move forward, we're in one mind, or at least to the enemy, we're in one mind on what we want. So inherently, you become a nation. Because that's the end result, having sovereignty of self, which is what a nation does. Obviously, you got sovereignty of self, as in your individual, with your rights to so-called choose or do certain things. But ultimately, we're at a point, especially in America, and correct me if I'm wrong, that now a wholesale group of people, black people, as well as worldwide, or let's just deal with the diaspora, at least for now. Yeah, the USA, Europe want to be recognized in a particular way, which in turn would need, again, some sort of direction and someone, as I said, even if you don't like the word leader, a spokesperson to have that piece of paper of all the list of things that, again, the crowd, if we're going to just say in the loosest of terms, have come to an agreement on. Because other than that, as I said, what are we doing then? Are we just bunning down the place? Are we just moving a certain way? There's got to be something in it. Every organization that we've got on here, on this little poster above your head and whatever, has mission statements and, proposals of what they want to achieve. So it can't be any different no matter what the movement is, whether it's the No Face Black Party, whether it's the Bun Down the Shit Party, you understand, whatever it is, but they're still going to have to at some point have a directive. Now, whether or not that's a slippery slope, that I agree with you. That's where the black leadership is a fragile thing. And we can talk about what is needed in a black leader, and again, that's besides the point of whether or not they get their heads blown off, something bad happens, or they get corrupted later on. But again, there still has to be some tenets, that basic tenets that we can all say, okay, you know what, for now, if the people are happy, because remember, the key element to any leader is they have to come from the people.
Mhm.
You know, that's the whole point. You know, once you start talking about someone's preordained, or you know, they got this holy ordainment on their head, that's for me the worst type of, you know, slippery slope, where someone now can just chat any shit and get away with any old foolishness now in that leadership position. And because now it's this divine outside force, now you're allowing more silly things to happen. You get me? So again, you know, what do you think? To respond. And sorry, brother, anybody that wants to jump on, the chat is in the link. The link is in the chat, sorry. Yeah, just copy the link, come in.
I still stand on my square on this one and think that collectively we as a people have adapted a consciousness to where we don't need an immediate leader right now. We don't. I think that people need, because we've adopted so many different cultures, that ultimately the disbursement of Black America is kind of what's needed. We just want our freedom, and let us figure it out. Give us that time, like give us that real quarantine time away from white supremacy, so that we can figure out what successful Blackness looks like 2020 and beyond. Because if it looks anything like America, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want no parts of it. I don't want nobody telling me what I could do and what I can't do. I don't want no leader. I'm good. I think that we're good enough, that we've been here long enough on this planet that we can be self-governed and be sovereign people. We can go where we want to go, do what we want to do. I think that we have it figured out as a people, but we haven't been allowed to flex our muscle for hundreds and hundreds of years, to the point where we think that somebody has to tell us all the time what we can and cannot do. Now, of course, depending upon where you are, there's going to be rules and regulations, right? And if we're going to set those rules and regulations, it doesn't necessarily have to come from a leader. It could come from the collective, where people, I mean, we already did voting systems, right? It could come from the collective, to put that burden on one person and say, this is the leader of everybody. Everybody's not going to agree with that with Black people. We've been through too much. I think we need time of just quarantine, real quarantine, not quarantine inside of a box by ourselves, but quarantine from white supremacists, from white supremacy altogether. Because when we got out of slavery, right, we got adopted right into white culture. There was no healing, no spiritual healing whatsoever from the trauma that we had gone through during slavery. We just got implemented right into a whole white society without any time to ourselves to really figure out what we want to do and who we are here in America, you see, on this land. So I think having that time is important before we choose a leader, you know, to speak on our behalf. We don't need nobody to speak on our behalf right now. Too many of our leaders are shady anyway. We find out a whole lot of stuff years after the fact. You know, anybody that's current right now, I wouldn't pick none of these niggas. Ain't none of them liberate us. This was not done by the hands of any leader. This was done by the collective consciousness of Black people. No particular leader got us to where we are right now. Not one of them.
Let me ask you this. When I hear you talk like that, let me ask you this classic question. Do you think that the elders failed us? No. The immediate elders to us?
No, I think they did the best they could with the resources they had. And that's the same way I feel about, even though I'm no longer a Christian, I feel the same way about Christians. They did the best that they could with the resources they had. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have instant information like that where they could pass it at the speed of light and figure things out. So they did what got them by. They knew that there was something that they needed as far as their connection with the divine, and all that they had was what was given to them by the white man. So they had to use that, or whether it was given to them even by the Black man. It doesn't matter. Whatever they know that they needed something, right, to keep them in order, to give them order, right, and you have peace of mind and hope, right. These are the basic things that we need: love, and enterprise, business. They accepted whatever was out there, whatever they could get their hands on. So to say that they failed us, no, I think that they actually were stepping stones to lead us to this point. They had to try out different things, right? Whether it was right or wrong, so that we could figure out what to do and what not to do. They did the best they could.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear you say that, because I was hoping he wasn't gonna say, "Yeah, they failed us." Like I
No,
was
definitely
hoping.
not. You know, I'm in tune with, you know, history and how things move. I'm tapped in. Like I sat at the foot of my great grandfather, you know, who told me about his grandfather who was a slave. See what I'm saying? And so for me to say that, it's like I'm spitting on his grave. I was blessed enough to be in his presence until he died at 98. My great grandmother, she died at 103, and I took care of them in their last days. So I've been in the garage and seen, you know, the chains and the shackles that they kept. They kept them things, and they had them in the garage for me to see as a teenager, as a kid. I saw those things. So I knew it was very real. I would hear scholars saying, yeah, slavery was fake and all this crazy shit, and it made me want to pull up to their crib. You see what I'm saying? Because I know I'm in tune with my ancestors. I'm in tune with my elders. You see what I'm saying? I'm one of the few scholars that you see that's young that sit at the foot of my elder. A lot of these scholars don't sit at the foot of their elder. And they just on this tangent saying they getting downloads from the universe. No, I want to hear the stories from what the elders went through.
There's no chronological order to their information.
Right. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's a very immature way of doing things, because now you're repeating mistakes that you don't have to repeat, because your elders already been through some of the things that we're going through right now. These things are happening in cycles. So the only reason why the changes are happening now is because those cycles are being recorded on the internet and people can see that these are cycles. The new generation can look it up and tell, oh, this happened before. Marching, we already did that. Why are we going to do that? No. See what I'm saying? Like, they're seeing the cycles. Before, it was a slower process we had to do about word of mouth. So, you know, as far
let me ask you this. Let me ask you that. I wanted to ask you this from the last time. Based on what you know about the 50s and the 40s, when we was going through the whole marching for various rights at that time, and seeing the treatment that we was getting in those riots, do you think that the police and the authorities have put the same kind of pressure on today?
I think that the police have learned. They've learned from those marches on what to do. So this is why you have insurgents, and why you have Antifa and all that kind of stuff happening. Because, and you know, they want to agitate the crowd, because if you want to control the crowd, why not you be the one that actually controls what's happening as far as riots? You see what I'm saying? What's going on? You got to think from their point of view. I'm gonna insert, if anybody gonna start the riot, let it be me. You see what I'm saying? That way I know how to control it, and we could figure out who's who when they join in, because we know who our people are. So anybody else that's joining in, we could find them. If there's any gunshots going off, let's get them agitated in a certain. Let's square them off first. Because see, when we marching, like, there's things that we look for when I'm marching. I'm looking for when they start to flank us. I'm looking for when the police start to flank us. Once they start to flank us, then I know that they got all their positions in order already, and now they're getting ready to move in. So anytime if I'm marching, I'm looking straight ahead. But then when I turn around, if I see police behind me, then I know they already got west, east, and north locked off. So when I see them coming behind me, it's time for me to dip. It's time for me to dip. So when you experienced in this type of stuff and you start doing this, you start realizing what they do. But see, I wouldn't have known these things had I not spoken to my elders. My elders who had been through it put me onto the game and told me what to do in that situation. See what I'm saying?
No, facts. I listen, I totally agree with you. Again, white people are the original diverters of energy in it. They know how to redirect energy. That's what they've been doing. That's it. That's what they've been doing from the beginning of inception. Yeah, for them. Like, it's looking and studying our energy patterns and learning how to manipulate and again redirect. Whether it's the religion thing, you know, you're running on all the different cues from nature and your environment. Yes. But that last bit where you're supposed to be charged up at, that's where they insert the Jesus and the other names, the Allahs and whatever. And that's where you get 10% of the energy from, and the 90% goes to wherever they're telling you to call. So I get that.
A little piece, brother. That little piece right there is really the bulk of all
it's the connector.
Yes.
Creates the circuit at the end of the day.
Come
That's
on.
what I'm saying. It completes the circuit. They know how to remove that from your circuit board, innit? And then inherently have you spinning your wheels or never running at full capacity. That's one of their biggest tricks. You get me? Giving you minimum scraps. That's again leads back to these organizations a lot of the time. Whether you want to talk about the ADOS, whether you want to talk about this Black Lives Matter. Again, I did a show a couple last week with Terry, and we did it with this brother, and we was talking about movements, and again, moments versus movements. And again, I think that's a problem, because as you know, as somebody who was studying different movements, going right back to the bus boycotts and all the rest of it, again, movements only run on people sticking to their guns. You understand? Which again requires a plan. There has to be a game plan put into effect. So like that bus march, the bus boycott, everybody had the plan to not use the buses, and they stayed on it. You understand? Everyone stuck to that plan, and that was how they broke that shit down. So again, you know, whatever the movement, and that's a successful one. Same thing if we want to bring in the Marcus Garvey thing, like I'm hoping my Bridget will come on in a bit. He's a Marcus Garvey expert. But again, with that movement, there had to be some sort of plan laid down. Now, whether or not people want to say Marcus Garvey wasn't a great leader, this, that, and the other, again, there had to be an ethos of what we're doing beforehand. So again, when we're looking at today now, and you're still seeing what's going on, and again, you're in New York, I'm here, you're in the States, but when you're seeing what's going on, what in your head, and again, it's only your opinion, but in your head, where's the plan? At what point do we need to regather ourselves and kind of say, okay, what's next now? Even if it's to say, what buildings are we strategically burning down? Because I don't hear, there's not even that. And again, it's not going to be a public conversation, but in your head, where we going?
As far as as
that's you.
As far as a plan, I think it's one that's non-vocal. I think it's more of a vibe that we feel that we need to do, and it needs to be sporadic. I think if we lay out a plan, that's how, just as quick as we lay it out, it will crumble, because there's too many insurgents. I mean, we got people that are in household relationships, and marriages and children generationally with our enemy. So to lay out a clear plan and say this is what Black people are going to do, that ain't going to work in America, because America is a totally different machine. The only plan that I would say is to overthrow this government. Over any government institution needs to come down, and it needs to start from scratch. The whole Constitution thing, that shit wasn't built for us. That needs to go. That doesn't need to be the premise of whatever land that we on, because it wasn't built for Black people. So I think the whole thing as a whole needs to be reevaluated, and we don't need to have anything written down on paper as to how we're going to move. Because I know when it was time for me to go out to the march and to the riots that we did, I felt like it was a fact. There wasn't no paperwork involved with that. There wasn't no plan laid out for that. It was literally a phone call from some friends saying, yo, I feel like I need to do something. And I said, yo, I feel like I need to do something too. Let's go. See what I'm saying? So there wasn't nobody that could stop us. There wasn't nobody that could figure out where we're going to go and how we're going to do it. The only people that could stop us was ourselves by turning around and going back home. By the time the police figured out what was going on, it was already too late. We already had 15,000 going across the bridge. They couldn't do nothing. They had 6 officers guarding the bridge. By the time we crossed the bridge, we was at 15,000. What was they going to do? There was no time for them to do anything. So when people say, "Yeah, we're going to schedule," this march, like even so, like let's put it this way: nothing against the nation, and when they do their million man marches and all that type of stuff, like people was like, "Wow, this is crazy," boom. But it showed unity with black people, and I loved it. But that's not the way you're going to do a revolution. You know why? Because when you show up there, first off, you're getting permits, you're getting permission, okay, to pull up from your enemy. You're getting permission from your enemy on how you're supposed to protest. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how I'm supposed to protest. Nobody. So you pull up, and by the time you pull up, they got police barricades already there. People on the sidelines selling T-shirts, vending. This is not a revolution. This is an event. It's a spectacle. It's a circus at the end of the day. If you're going to pull together 1 million black men, my dude, why not just take the whole shit over right now? We're going to pull up together 1 million black men for somebody to stand there and talk? No, let's do what we came here to do. Let's take this shit now. We got 1 million black men together, 1 million guards together, and we're just going to listen to somebody talk and go home.
Let me ask you this, bro. How many of the percentages of the people that you're seeing on road do you think are really ready to die? Because I have this conversation a lot with my friend here all the time when we're watching certain movies, revolutionary movies. And again, you got these parts where there's going to be a part where, again, people have to dead in it. Someone has to dead. Someone has to run the guns. Someone has to get popped off for some people to get in the door. That's when right. You think of it like that, because that's real, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, let's keep it real. As you said, there's barriers and all the rest of the prefixes before you even get there. So if you want to charge them barriers, knock down them policemen, get to that government building, someone's got to get shot. That's someone right. Has to hold it.
That's right.
You understand? So when you're looking at the percentage of the people on the road, how realistic do you really see that happening?
I think it's.
And what do you think is going to take to get to that point? Because for me, not until people see some people get shot down, like in a mass. I'm not talking about some loose random. I'm talking about see 10 Jamals and Richies standing there, get mowed down fully. Yeah, that to me is the only thing that I think is really going to get people hyped. But for you, what is it, and how many currently do you think is really in that mind state to at least, as you said in your own words, bun it down and take it there? You know, just for now, no talk, just go hard.
I think it's already happening, but in slow motion. I think it's not happening quick enough to where we could really make an impact. The target is in the wrong places in some cases. I think that is happening in slow motion. Everybody, every black male and every black female that gets gunned down on the streets by the police every day, that's our army right there. That's our army, our martyrs, the ones that have already lost their lives. It's already happening right now before our eyes. And they're the ones on the front lines being gunned down. They're fighting back the police when they get pulled over for a goddamn ticket, you know, fighting back when they want to sell CDs on a corner store or sell a Lucy. They fighting back. When police violate and they run up in their house, they shooting back. Like, it's already happening, but the ones that really want change, right, are afraid to join in when they lose their lives. You see what I'm saying? So, like, let's put it this, like with Breonna Taylor, right? Everybody's saying, like, people was hitting me up, yo, let's talk about Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? How come we ain't talking about Breonna? How come we ain't talking about Breonna and yada, 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 right? I said, let me tell you, you know why I ain't gonna talk about it to you? Because I know you ain't gonna do shit. That's my response. Call me when you're ready to do some shit. Don't call me because you want me to hear a rah-rah speech. See what I'm saying? Hit my jack when you're ready to pull up. Because I'm not with the rah-rah shit if it's time for a revolution. Somebody call me, yo, we about to head up. All right, say less. Say less.
That's the problem with the social media. That's the problem with the social media, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where I think it is the classic dissipate of energy.
Yeah.
As you said, we're gonna meet on Facebook. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna share posts and whatever, and then that's it. Because everybody feels okay. I've done my bit. I've spoken about it. I've made it awareness. And again, I'm not saying that that's not necessary, but
Right.
the energy that, as you said, should be transferred directly to okay, this is the problem. Are we going to do something in real time? Now is interrupted with the social media in it, because everybody's posting. You've got a good percentage now that are just posting and talking in that format, and then their energy or their disdain and hatred for the situation never actually touches road. By the time they leave their house that day, they're back to normal kind of thing, just going about their business because they've given it all out onto the social media side.
No boots on the ground. No boots on the ground. And that's, and that's what, with my team and the people that I roll with, we all about boots on the ground. Like the ones that don't like me is the ones that don't put boots on the ground. I really don't get along with people that don't get boots on the ground. Because when I call people for certain situations and they come up with this lame ass excuse, they're the ones with the loudest mouths. They're the ones who talk the most shit. It's wild when they talk about banging on the beats. That's what I was saying earlier. Like even a lot of the people that you see that was out in Harlem, all of the scholars, all of that, I did not see them out there, bro. And it was so disappointing because I'm like, yo, I pulled up when it's time to bang, and I saw some white folks out there pulling up, Chinese, homos, black people of ill repute, gang members. I saw a whole lot of niggas out there, but I did not see the ones who talked the most about this situation. I did not see them out there. It's disheartening. So this is why I'm really not with it. Like I try to be silent when they say, yeah, what's the plan? No, I can't. I ain't saying my plan. I ain't saying my plan because these niggas talk too much. They'll go and lay the whole plan out. As soon as they're going to tell somebody. They're going to tell. They're not going to do nothing. They just going to tell. You see what I'm saying? And that's not how we're going to get this change done. You got to be silent when you really revolutionary, you just know how it is. It's almost like if somebody a criminal. See what I'm saying? Because that's how they see revolutionary people. They look at us like we criminals. So we can't be telling people what we're going to do. It's like, yeah, yo, I'm about to rob this bank on July 16th at 2:30 p.m. We're going to meet over in the parking lot, and then we're going to head out around 2:30, put our mask on. Like, that's literally what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about a revolution online and what we need to do. Nah, B, like, when it's time to pull up, when I ring your jack, that's when it's time to go. When you ring my jack, I'll be ready. One in the head already. Let's go. See what I'm saying? Real can recognize real. We know when it's time, what it's hitting for. But it's easy to talk this talk, man. It's easy to talk this revolutionary talk online and just, but to really be about it and apply it in everyday life, this shit ain't fun. This shit ain't fun at all. You risking your life out here every day. You risking your life out here.
But let me ask you this. I don't know how much you know about Marcus Garvey and the movement and whatever, but when you see the success or that, let's say, because again, success is a strong word, but when you see the numbers that he was able to generate for the movement that he was pushing, do you think that has anything to do with the moral fiber of the community? Because again, when you're talking today and you're talking about what needs to happen, and even just having people that are ready, is that incumbent more upon the community? So again, he's got 7 million people. There's never been a movement that big globally since. But do you think that's only happening based on the fact that back then the general black community was a lot more, the black family was a lot more intact? So again, based on that narrative, and then you looking at today, what's the overview? Do you think we can reach that success without addressing the moral code? I know you're into comedic science, you get me, standardly. We've talked about it, so you know about moral fiber, having rules and a code of ethics. So, but again, today, because we're under so much pressure, usually the conversation is, listen, we just need to get this thing done, and let's move, let's go, let's do this thing. But again, how important is it to have that code of ethics? Can we re-achieve that in the current state that we're in? Or do you think we're the same as we was back then? It's just somehow the message isn't resonating yet.
I think that is definitely different. I think we're on an uptick. Um, I think the family structure was definitely broken down, though. I don't think it's as good as it was back then. The family structure, statistically, anything, anybody could tell you that, that the family structure is definitely broken down. And I think they used that money game to do that. Um, I would say that the reason why Marcus Garvey was able to uh, have the numbers that he had is because he was a leader who led from the front. You see, he led from the front. He wasn't a leader that was telling people what to do. He wasn't saying go ahead. He was saying let's go. See what I'm saying? So, you know, I've heard some stories about Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? Him taking over ships and you know doing things, doing his dirt by his lonely. You know, it didn't matter if he had people with him. So I think his movement was really about him. People saw themselves, uh, they lived their lives vicariously through him. You see, because he was really about it. Nowadays, the leaders tell you what you should be doing as they sit in these big buildings and sip the finest grapes. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Um, and the family structure, I think is the number one important thing. That's what we're fighting for at the end of the day. So if you break down the family structure, people don't see a reason to fight because they don't see value in a family. See what I'm saying? The infrastructure right now is, even with just the male female diaspora, the woman is played against the man. The black woman is played against the black man in the household. And they use the money to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't even get public assistance or welfare or WIC checks if there's a man in the home. So it's more conducive for them to oust the man from the home so that they can be supported by the government. See, so that family structure being broken down. That's
That's a major thing. You listen, with no family structure, you're not even getting proper soldiers. Just full stop. There's no proper soldiers because again, we're talking about code. We're talking about how to treat one another. All your first experiences start with the family, and whether you're talking about brotherhood, sisterhood, respecting elders, rules, regulations, love, respect, all your tenements of what you're gonna need to have with your brother in arms next to you or your sister in arms. You're learning first from the black family, and to all of the classifications, whether you would say you're gay, you're this, you're that. Again, you came from a family first, didn't you? You came from a man and woman situation. So if you don't speak to that, as you said, and understand the importance of that, then you're already lost.
Right.
That's big, most definite.
So if we're talking about let's put it this way: if we're going to talk about a plan, like you had mentioned earlier, the plan literally is that. Right in the back of our minds, it's rebuilding that family structure, and whatever it takes to do that, that's really the plan, because that's what we're fighting for. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of different variables in play, because if you just put one thing and say, yo, we just need to do this, concentrate on or reparations, or we need to do this, concentrate on weapons and things of that nature. We need, like, it's going to be a multitude of things that have to come into play. But if you don't have a why as to why you're doing what you're doing, like, these are the type of stuff that I have to tell my team when I work, where I work at. You know what I'm saying? When I tell my team, it's like, if you come to work and you don't have a reason why you want to come to work, why you need to come to work, you're going to fail at this job. You're going to fail it because you're going to go through so many things at this job that's going to deter you from doing your job properly. That if you don't have a why factor as to why you're working in the first place, you're going to lose focus and you're going to quit. You're not going to want to be here, no matter how much money we pay you. I'm quick to hire somebody who has a wife and kids before I hire somebody who's single, who's just working for themselves. I hire somebody
Fact.
who has a wife and kids. You know why? Because I know they're gonna make sure that they come to work every day and they're gonna do the things that they need to do to support their family, no matter what. I'm not gonna lose that person to their vices. See what I'm saying?
But that listen, in any top company, most top companies, that's what they want. In
Yes.
any top position, whether you're talking political, again, man's not listening to you about laws if they not seeing you govern a household.
Mhm.
Man, man ain't trying to look at no president standing by himself.
Right.
They want to see a nicely turned out wife, kids, whatever. Because
Yes.
again, it breeds the self confidence that okay, there's something there. You're compassionate. You understand. There's order. You
Yes.
understand. So again, it's a basic tenement in any other and most, fields
Yeah.
of jobs and whatever. And as I always tell people, if I gave you 10 million tomorrow, it's gonna matter then who you're marrying, what your kids are doing, and who they're with. Suddenly it will become of value in it. You'll worry then
Right. Right.
that, but again, we've lost the basic tenement and the value system for it. So I'm in agreement with you on that one. That again, if you don't have a reason why, then regardless of the subcategories of what you need to do, it will fall by the wayside because, as you said, there's no real drive. People, listen, this is an open show. Anyone can come on, say what you want. The link is in the chat. Feel free. Yeah, I see people watching. Big up to everyone who's joining us. Yeah, me and Jamal just having a chat, chopping it up. So I like. Um, who for you was the last greatest leader that you've seen, in your opinion? For me, I gotta say Khalid Muhammad. For me, he was on the thing. Just for listening to him, watching his movements, again, seeing how he was kind of doing things from the front, he was definitely inspiring. But for you, who do you look at and say, okay, yeah, that person there, they was on this thing?
I'm gonna have to say Gaddafi.
Gaddafi, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Reasons?
Um, when you look at what he did for his people, um, and this is a two-sided coin. It's him and it's somebody else, but I'm gonna have to say him because um, there was no other reason for them to take him out other than his power, which was based on the love that the people had for him and what he was doing. Had he succeeded, us in America would be having a very different conversation right now. Black Americans, we would be having a very different conversation right now had he still been alive. Um, hold on, it's my brother Joey Badass calling. We would
I
have
need
a
to get
very,
him. I need to get him on the show, with you. That would be nice, I got a little music section coming.
yeah, no
Mhm.
doubt.
So,
Um,
all right, let me ask you this because I was in a debate not too long ago talking about Gaddafi, and the subject of the debate was in this group was, do we think or did everyone think that Africa should have rallied behind Gaddafi and stopped them from invading? Do you think that was a moment where Africa should have or could have rallied itself and all lent troops to maybe go to Libya and stop that? Because again, you're saying it would have been a different conversation.
yeah,
Do you think that should have happened?
yeah. I mean, that was the moment right there. And this is not the first time that Africa has had moments like that and they failed us. Um, I think that the indoctrination over there, is so crazy. Um, not even the indoctrination, I would say the colonialism has gotten such a hold on Africa now that they couldn't make the decision in the right way if they wanted to, because the common interest would be shut off. You know, um, they don't. I mean, Africa doesn't control Africa. You know, um, what Gaddafi was doing was allowing the people to reclaim, Sankofa, reclaim that which what was lost, that Africanness, that oneness, that Smai Tai, as we call it. I think that he got it. Like, he understood the oneness that had to happen in order for Black people, not only in Africa but around the world, to be liberated. It has to be a common, as you say, when we talk about spirit, there has to be a common thread that we all can define as African, or here in America, as we call it, Black. There has to be a definition of what it looks like that we all subscribe to. I get it 100%. And I think that he was the one.
You don't think that inherently, because he was Arab and had strong Arab ties as well, do you think inherently would have become a problem or an enemy at some point because of those ties? Because remember, like, obviously, if we had band together, and this is us talking this scenario out, if we had band together and maybe gone to Libya, defended him, kicked out the people, that would have forced America and other white countries now to start moving differently, ultimately banding together. Now the Arab is still an invader, just like the white boys, even longer than the white boys. Again, we talk about the 400 years of the white boy. You got to add the 1200 to 1500 of the Arabs, slavery. And, they're sitting in lands that people would argue are not theirs. You understand? And that they eventually need to be removed. So do you see that being a problem later on that may have come up, or do you not see him being of that mindset? And again, we're speculating. There's certain things he did say, and he was very clear on, in uniting Africa and showing that there definitely needed to be a unity, and there's a power there that is undeniable. But at the same time, do you think he was also hedging his bets, where he inevitably knew that it's better to be a friend of the African than to be an enemy, based long-term wise?
I think that ultimately there's always that reserve that could be it, but I also understand the power of Black people, and when we come together, we have a way about things, because we are the absorption of all colors. The way we ought to be handled is a little bit differently than how you would handle another race. I think that Africans, we're the mothership. We gave birth to the Arabs. We gave birth to the white man. We gave birth to every nation that you see. So even if he wanted to have that resolve to introduce, Arab culture, or even slavery again, these are challenges that will always be there. But does that mean that we ought not strive, or we ought not link with our allies? That wouldn't be a smart move in war. It's something that we still have to do, and look at the red flags if there were any. But when you have a man that invested so much, the way that he invested in the people and the things that he had built for them, the infrastructure, I just didn't see him as that type of person. I mean, he was on his dying day. His last words was, "What did I ever do to you? What did I do to you?" You know what I'm saying? You think when somebody's getting ready to die, they spill all their beans. You know what I'm saying? They give away all the secrets when they getting ready to die, and that barrel in their face, or that hatchet is to their neck. They gonna tell him. He really didn't know, because he didn't do nothing to nobody. B. He said, "What did I ever do to you?" He ain't do nothing but help those people. I did not see him as that type of energy. It does not mean that some of his followers, and a lot of times this happened, you know, people that follow him, they take advantage of the energy, you know, and they'll be infiltrators and stuff like that. But we can't always charge it to that one man. I think his intentions were very good for the people of African descent, which is why they took him out. If it wasn't, they would have he would have somehow they would have got to him. They would have figured him out, and they would have used him instead of killing him. They killed him because they knew that he was the real deal. He was getting
him suggesting the gold exchange was too much. As you said, that's why he had to go before that could ever be initiated, because it would have superseded. If it had been initiated, then it wouldn't have mattered whether they had killed him after that, because it would have just been a wrap for their currency in it, just a wrap for their whole lives, their whole way they trade. And again, they're still under that current pressure right now. When I say them, the West, obviously, America, England, the imperial powers, because again, they don't produce enough gold to distribute to the population, let alone do meaningful trade in gold. Yeah, it's just a wrap. They just don't produce enough, so they'd be in debt effectively to Africa constantly. You know, you want to talk about inflation and these silly terms, they would have known about it.
Yes.
And that's if we was moving like them, which no one was suggesting we would. But if you know, that's why they became so scared, because again, white man moves accordingly based on what he thinks you will do if you was in his situation, based on his own parameters of thought.
Yes.
So that's why they moved that drastically, because again, inherently, I don't believe we share the same worldview or reality as them in most areas. I think we've had to problem solve in the diaspora and obviously adapt with what we have. But ultimately, how we see resources, how we price resources, how we use them is always going to be inherently different. Kind of thing. So, you know, from that aspect, I definitely think there's a rule. But you were saying there's someone else that you was going to mention. Who was the other person on the flip side?
And this is
big up Ultra.
I mean, we're speaking in. You said who was the most powerful leader, but this particular person, he wasn't a black leader.
Who was he? Who was you going to mention?
I can't get his name right now. I can't remember his name now.
Cool.
Forgive me.
Ultra. You on? Unmute your mic, Ultra. You're still muted. Or maybe. Okay. Wait. He'll talk in a minute. He's dealing with his baby. I feel you, Ultra. All right. Well, I mean, look, for me, the Gaddafi thing, I definitely think that something could have run. It's sad to me still that obviously no black leaders could have initiated that same level of talk. And I think maybe there was. Obviously, Mugabe was on things. Yeah, what's your opinion on Mugabe?
On Marcus Garvey?
Yeah, no, Mugabe.
Mugabe.
Yeah, from South Africa. That's it. Mugabe.
That's the
that's my accent.
Slim Dawson dude, right?
Yeah, who died recently.
Yeah, I think he was dope. You know, I don't think that he had the weight that Gaddafi had, though. I just think that, you know, his policies, like his thought process, was in the right lane. You see, and it's always going to come down to, when you're dealing with America, it's always going to come down to the dollar. It's who's going to attack the dollar. Who's really going to attack the infrastructure of what makes America what it is. Because you always got to keep in mind that, like I said, it's a business. So if you're not working on making the dollar crumble, then you're really not doing nothing to America, no matter what ideology or gods you want to bring into. It has to be something to break down that infrastructure that makes them powerful. It's their money. It's their money.
So when it comes to people like Khalid Mohammed, what's your opinion on him? Why do you think he was banned as a private citizen? And against, he was all over the place. He done security, knew those guys like Gaddafi and various other people. What's your opinion on him?
I think he was talking too much. He was talking too much. He had it. He was in the right space. He had the right connects as far as the people that he was dealing with and the organization that he was in. But I think that he just talked too much to where he didn't execute the plan before he burned the bridges.
Well, do you think he would have done better in his own organization, or do you think it was a problem him being part of Nation of Islam? Do you think, you know what I'm saying? If he was the exact same guy he was, with all the same bars somehow, but he wasn't associated to the Nation of Islam, which again comes with a whole next code of conduct and levels, which, as we know, is problematic in itself to certain points.
Well, we've seen this before.
Do you think he would have been more successful in some of the things he was saying?
Yeah, I mean, they did the same thing to Malcolm. It's when you get to a certain level of real change and unconformability, it's like they just get to a certain point where they banish you, and we've seen that happen on multiple occasions. So these are historical facts. This ain't opinion. That they do. So once you get to that point, where you really figure it out and you try to tie it to Africanness, shit just start to go left every single time. Anytime you start bringing Africanness into the equation, it's like somehow, I don't know what it is about the organization, things just go left. The conversation is not as bright, and all of a sudden now we're looking at this person's character is on a chopping block. But all before that, before they start talking about Africa, this person is the man. He's the leader. He's the guy. So people ain't stupid. We watch things and we figure out trends because we always left with questions.
That's why that ADOS movement, and I want you to go and check it out because I know it will take you 2 seconds to read certain revisals, and you tell me what you think of that shit. Yeah. But this is why, for me, it's not an accident that you come up with that movement. And again, let's be clear, reparations as a subject matter, I get it. It's needed. It's been on the books. It's been a conversation for the longest. But as I said, the way they've gone about it and creating this paradigm, I don't even like the word ADOS. Yeah. American descendants of slaves.
I thought it said African descendants of slaves. I was about to say
that's like maybe, but again, I don't like the descendants of slaves too, because again, it kind of feels like you're saying you're from a slave and you'll always be a slave,
right?
Because that's your line,
right?
You understand? So that's my problem. Besides that, quick sidebar. When I looked up the ADOS abbreviation, it's a test. It's also an abbreviation for a mental test that's done to ascertain how you interact with your environment. Now, people can just say, the sidebar, it's a coincidence, whatever, but that to me is relevant as well, because it is playing with your sense of reality of something that's happened, and again, creating a paradigm there.
Right.
But as I said, it's not an accident that this movement that's come out so strong, because again, I don't know if they had a presidential candidate sitting down with them last year. I can't remember her name. That was the first woman that was talking about doing reparations, and she said some amount, on the Breakfast Club. I think it was 100 million or something. So something.
Mhm.
She gave some number, but she done an interview with them, and you know what I'm saying, they were getting a lot of traction. But again, in this time frame, I haven't heard of from them or anything. And I would have thought, again, these are the times to be vocal. These are the times to be laying it down. You know what I'm saying? If you're in those so-called quote unquote positions to be able to be having the conversation with these so-called leaders or at least lawmakers in certain ways.
I'm really not even kinda. I'm really against like accepting um money from this organization that we call America at this point. Like they was giving away, the $1,200 stimulus checks and all of that. I didn't file for it. I didn't accept it. I didn't want it. I feel that, if we're going to separate, then we need to do just that. And I feel like when you accept money from them, there's always a catch. It's like, it's tied to a string when you accept money from America. So for me, reparations was never even a conversation or something that I was looking into, because it's almost like I'm tying myself to my straw man just by accepting that. And that allows them to do whatever the hell they want to do to me as an American. If it's not going to relinquish me from being an American and have me being African and take that money and go back home, I really don't want no parts of it. That's just my outlook on it, because I don't trust America. I don't trust anything that they give me as far as paperwork and promises. That's what money is. It's a promissory note. I'm really good on that. So
Well, the truth of it is, if they was to pay what they supposedly, again, quote unquote, oh, I don't think America would ever be the same, nor would England, because their economies wouldn't be able to take it. And the transference of that amount of wealth, if we're talking what they actually owe, which is in the trillions, stupid amounts, which again still can't be. It's an insult to try and calculate it by default. So I'm with you on that. But if they were to try to at least give what they're supposedly in their own little estimation owe, then you're talking about enough money that, again, the system wouldn't survive. The transference of power, they might as well just come out of the White House and just come out of 10 Downing Street and just start handing over stuff. Because again,
because everything would be ours. And that's what I think.
Yeah, well, that's it. The jump of wealth that they would push on us would destabilize everything. We would be owning all of the top companies and etc. etc. So I don't see it realistically happening per se myself. I get that. I get that.
That's why I don't want to accept the money. How about you just give me my land? How about you just give me that? Like, I'm good on the bread, because here's the thing: we take the bread, and then what they do is they just raise the prices, and we still end up poor. See what I'm saying?
Right.
They raise the price. Right. And that's what they've been doing collectively. The more money that we made, because Black people wasn't just suffering, we was always continuously building as far as monetary status and stuff like that, despite what the statistics say. We have more with Black women are the ones who graduate college more than any other race on the planet. You see what I'm saying? We have a new, I won't say new, but we have an uprising, an uptick statistically of us doing better as the years go on. So the way that they handle that is through inflation. They handle that through inflation, and they redline and they raise prices in areas where they don't want us, so that no matter how much money you make, you could be a college graduate, you still can't afford what you want.
You get priced out.
Yeah, you get priced out. So that's what would happen after reparations. Once they give us the reparations, you would see a big inflation happen to where now, 300,000 ain't gonna buy you a box. You can see that in New York right now. In New York, to get an apartment, you know what I'm saying? You're paying like $3,000 for a 1-bedroom to 2-bedroom, $3,000. You know what I'm saying? It's a hole in the wall.
Yep. So, same thing here in London, son.
Yeah.
Trust me.
You see what I'm
Same
saying?
shit.
So that reparations money is not always the answer. People think money is the answer for everything, and it's not. And that's why I be telling, like, don't always be chasing that dollar. You know what I'm saying? Your liberation ain't gonna come through paperwork. That's including money. That's not where your liberation is coming from. It's gonna come from a collective mindset of the people, a consciousness. You see, and once we get tapped into that, you know, there's no amount of money they're gonna be able to pay us. We just gonna run in there and take what it is that's ours, because we built that. We built the infrastructure, we built the systems, so we deserve to control the infrastructure in the system. We deserve to control the buildings and they own the land. You know, you could keep the money because the money can come and go, but that land it generates. That's wealth. That's wealth. See what I'm saying? We don't want to be rich. The money just makes you rich, but it's not giving you wealth. Wealth is in the assets that the money has bought. See what I'm saying? And those are the things that continuously feed their families and send their children to college. You know, they're living off that. They're living off interest. They don't have to even touch the money no more because the businesses that they own and stuff like that. So it's just, like, you know, understanding history, when you study history and how they actually built everything, you know, on how we built it and they took it, you know, you just think differently. You know, you can't just dangle money in my face and think I'm gonna hop on that shit. I make enough. I'm good. Like, how about you
Well,
just do what's mine?
well, I'm with you, but what I always tell people, like, you gotta know how things work in it. The money that you're spending is set on materials,
Yeah.
so it's about finding out what their materials are, whether it's the gold, silver, precious
gold.
metals, all that kind of thing, yeah. And then you gotta understand where that's coming from and how your society's running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this revolutionary talk or reparations, again, I always tell people, listen, if you don't understand where certain people are drawing their wealth from, i.e. the government right now of England, America, Europe, then you saying that you're going to revolt or you want certain things but still want to stay in America or England or parts of Europe, you're that's a fantasy.
Right.
I think that is the biggest problem, because again, I think a lot of people are disconnected from what is really good and what generates the money and gives their money in their pocket, that little paper that they've got in their pocket, weight. They don't seem to get that, most people, or they think it's overcomplicated, when if you just know what it is that's setting the market. Same thing I say about melanin. If they put the price of melanin on the screen every day and they were showing you is 495 a gram,
Right.
yeah, and gold is 49 a gram, $49 a gram, melanin's 495. If they showed that every day on the early morning markets, you know, as standard as they show gold, that would change your mind state straight away, because you'd start to understand, wait, what's so good about this melanin? Let me find out about the applications of this thing.
Right.
Let me find out its place out here. And then you would start to understand, as I always say again, that you're the first resource of this thing. Before you even dig into the ground, is you that's the first resource.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Even
That's a major
Hitler was saying that. Hitler said that. He said, they stole America's jewel, which is black people. You know, they stole God's jewels. He said God's jewels was black people. And when you see the power in that statement, you know, it helps you to realize ultimately what he was trying to do too. You know, ultimately the bodies, our bodies, is worth more dead than alive. And what do you say about that? Like, how do you feel about that, knowing that every day you walk down the street, you know, that you're in a land where your body is worth more dead than alive? It's like having a bounty on your head.
Straight.
That you're born. Constant.
Right.
You know, that's something you can't turn off. You can't turn off being black. You know, they talk about the NYPD and they say, yeah, you know, blue lives matter, yada yada yada. Y'all only blue lives for 40 hours a week. We black every day, every day. So you're right about that.
No, fact. I think that would just be on a practical one. That will create a paradigm shift straight away. Because I still have that conversation with people and have to pull it up and show them right up until January 2nd, 2020. That's the price. It's still going up.
Mhm.
And again, I think when people understand, as I said, all the different things you can do with it,
Right.
that's when you start to understand the true value. It's even like learning what you could do with gold.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like people are wearing it for jewelry most of the time. It's engineering, there's medical aspects, there's all sorts that's going on with that.
Yes.
But if you don't know this, then you will probably skip over the fact of why you think it's important.
Mm, mm,
What's going on,
mm.
Funky?
Yeah, brother. Listen, I can't even raise the volume too tough yet because if I
No
wake
why,
baby,
Jamal. No,
yeah,
yeah, I
like
feel you.
you're gonna see, yeah, the violence. Yeah, I'm not into it. And then listen, right. So first and foremost, big up the kings on the panel. Big up everyone involved. Give it everyone in the chat. Um,
Peace.
I missed some of the show. Yeah. I've only been listening for the last half an hour. But in relation to the title of the video, uh, for me, strong leadership uh, is a problem in and itself because um before we start looking outwards, and in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, before we start talking about reparations and leadership and rare, we need to sort ourselves out, right? Um, I feel like from just observing my community online is fractured, and if if we ain't got our own house in order, I think going outwards and making demands is foolhardy, uh, and leaves room open for the people who owe us not to take us seriously. Um, and qualities in leadership, for me personally, has to come from people who are not emotionally led. I'm not saying um your emotions are a hindrance, but when you make decisions based on emotions, you're essentially useless because in this high pressure situation, you're going to crumble. Um, as a community, we need to be we need to be picking the best people for the job. If you want just a leader, you're going to get yourself into a problem because I heard someone mention Mugabe, and that's all great. And he said some great things and he had some great ideas. But the problem of of putting a singular man or woman on a pedestal to lead is the problem because we
Yeah.
are so fractured because of things like the Willie Lynch plan and because of things like the King Alfred plan. We're already ice skating uphill, right? So for us to be, as a community, to be fractured because this one's darker, this one's poorer, this one's that religion, or this one said this about me, and this one shops in Tesco's, and this one's not as hardcore as I am, or this one's got a strange accent, or I feel like like strong leadership before we even start discussing these things. It's the titans in our communities that are supposed to identify and address and begin healing our our problems that we have within. right? Because if you're building on a shaky foundation, this shit's gonna fall apart, right? But if we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, we don't always have to get along, because if you've got a family, you know you can't get along with everyone, right? But if we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, that is such a powerful tool. For instance, take Black Pound Day, right? It was a singular day where we got thousands of people to just invest in ourselves. It wasn't just the fact that we invested a couple of quid with ourselves. It was the gesture. It was, it was, it was, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the, it's the signal that it sends to others that actually, do you know what? We can come together, and it doesn't just have to take a funeral. We like group economics is just a start. Um, uh, so yeah, to just to round it all up in a nutshell, just to summarize quickly, leadership. Uh, before we start discussing that, the titans in our communities need to address uh the issues in our community, and we tackle those head on. Um, Additionally, leadership cannot come from a singular individual. Our community is far too big, it's far too vast, it's far too diverse for us to think we could just stick a singular person in quote unquote leadership role and expect it to work. No. Um, and with leadership, it doesn't necessarily have to be all encompassing like the president. I believe leadership should come from an elected council where you've got somebody who might be an absolute donut when it comes to farming, but when it comes to family law, he's a boss. We put him in when it comes to family law, and you repeat that process through each individual field where we need to be. Do you understand? I hope that will make sense. Now, qualities in leaders: not emotionally led, logic over your feelings. Okay, logic
No doubt.
over your feelings. Yeah.
No
So
doubt.
I can't even stay on too
Hey,
long. Um,
hold
but
on, one
I'm
quick
gonna
question.
listen in though.
Ultra,
Yeah.
Ultra, one
Go on, quick.
What's your ideal organization right now that you think is hitting the most tenements for black people right now? If you had to pick one that's currently out there, which one would you pick? That
All right.
you like? You like the way they're
All right.
ever.
Let me be absolutely honest with you, yeah, because I'm just gonna put it
Not
all out
one
there. I'm gonna put it all
job.
out there. In my subjective opinion, in the UK, there's an entire generation of boys and girls that's just lost, right? And if it was, there's an organization called Gang. I don't know if they're still active or what the score is, but when they first came to the pot and I realized what their mission statement was, it actually galvanized me into caring again. Because if I'm honest, I just ripped them off, and much to my disgrace, right? But when Gang came around and their mission statement was, we need to do something about these young kids because nobody was doing anything about it. And then through that, I stumbled onto Terry Riggs and the Manhood Academy, and
Russell.
I can't lie. Again, much to my disgrace, I knew nothing about this organization. Um, so because the children are the future, um, and not my knee-jerk reaction again is to say, all right, the Manhood Academy, the mission statement, what you guys are doing, like for me, it just fills me with joy and pleasure to know that those of us not as well off as, let's say, others, have a chance. That fills me
You're
with
feeling
joy,
the rites of
hope.
passage.
Yeah, and exactly the rites of passage. We discussed this about a week ago. But also for me as well, I can't lie to you. Where I think we're going wrong in our community, because like for instance, Manhood Academy has given kids a chance to see the world, to get some rules, some discipline instilled in them, right? But where we're lacking as a community is in the mental health sector. Mental health is killing black people like Corona. It makes Corona look like a joke, right? And I think mental health in our community is still taboo because the older generation and the ones before them, our grandparents, for them, I don't think they understood it. And I've even heard people say you can pray away mental health, and I,
Don't worry, bruv. I
yeah,
feel you. I feel
yeah,
you're wrestling because again, this is what we're trying to say is thin on the ground for what is
mm,
actually out there. You
mm,
understand? But
yeah,
I
yeah,
know you got the baby. Let me bring in George Macon. Were you there,
yeah, yeah.
George?
All right.
Thank you, Ultra. Big up.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I'm in the supermarket. I don't even know what the topic is about.
You're talking about black leadership and organizations that we like. You understand? That was the subject matter. But get out of the supermarket and then start talking.
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm gonna call you when I get in the car.
Cool. All right, say nothing. Victor, where you at, Vic? Unmute your mic, brother.
Yeah, I'm here, bro. Yeah.
What's good? I know you've been listening. I see you in the chat room. Big up. It's Victor. I know him from real world. You get me? So while on Vic, you joined us before. I know you've been listening.
Yeah, what you mean about the real world? What was that? They're in the real world as well, aren't they? The other guys.
Listen, I don't class this as the real world. Like when I talk to you offline, that's real. This is somewhat fabricated. So there's certain people I kind of know through this media, and there's people I know in the real world. You're one of them people.
Yeah. I get that.
George, Jamal, they're those type of people. I speak to them outside of this arena, so I kind of know who I'm fucking with. So same for you.
Absolutely, yes.
So
I mean,
yeah. What you gonna say?
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. Good evening. Yeah. Good evening. Greetings to all the guys on the panel. Yeah. The last caller, made some great points, and he hit a nail right on the edge, with that mental, psychology thing, like the mental trauma of most of our people, So if the question's to do with a leader, I mean, I don't think none of us in the right frame of mind to be leading anyone in these times that we're in. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Because we're all suffering from some sort of trauma, psychological trauma, emotional trauma. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Physical trauma. It's all there. But the blueprint's already there, the blueprint of what we must do was set by the greats. It's already there. It's been done. We just have to pick it up.
What's the blueprint?
The blueprint. Marcus Garvey blueprint is one of the biggest one.
Okay.
We got professors like Amos Wilson. What's the other one? The economic man. Can't remember his name now. They're all there. The blueprint's there. We just have to pick it up and just do. But the fact is, a lot of us are mentally challenged. But we just don't want to admit the truth. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And I like what you said to do with the melanin. That's a big topic. Where everyone that has melanin needs to really get in on it. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, it's a melaskin movement. You have to get in on it. Because that's what we have to do to start the repairing process. Because we are traumatized. Yeah, and we've got, the number one asset in this whole universe, entire universe. We got it on our skin. We're wearing it. We're walking it. We see it every day. We have to start utilizing that now. We have to know ourselves now. In truth, you can't deny yourself. It's on you. You know what I'm saying to you? That's what we got to get to, because a lot of us are damaged in the head. you know. We've got the magic stick right on us. We're wearing it. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But we're not recognizing ourselves because we've all this distraction. You know, listen, it ain't about what you call it, reparation, all that. Listen, right now, look what the world is in. We all in a lockdown, isolation, masks wearing everywhere. Things are changing around us. Yeah, that's the world we're living in. You know, we shouldn't forget that, because once you get your money, you're still gonna be wearing your mask. Yeah, once you get your money, it might turn into digits. You know what I'm saying to you? They're still controlling stuff, you know? So we just have to take back what we know, what belongs to us. But first, we have to know ourselves. We have to know ourselves in all honesty, like we have to know ourselves in spirit. Because I heard the one brother say, explaining about the spirit. Yes, the spirit is just air, breathing, water, science, applicable science. We have to do applicable science. Yeah, be practical in all our endeavors. But we have to know the science behind melanin. That's the truth, my brother. I'm telling you. Once you know the science of melanin, you won't need no leader. You know what I'm saying to you? Because you'll be a sovereign person in your own rights because of your skin. It's not about a racial thing. It's just scientific facts. You know what I'm saying to you? It's just what it is. It's not my fault that I was born into this skin. I just came and I just had dark skin. You know what I mean? I'm not bossy. It's just what is. So we have to get to know what the skin does. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? And there's things will just fall into place. But a lot of us don't know ourselves. We're all like assigned to different labels and all sorts. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm a Hebrew this, I'm a Moor this, nah, mate. That's all a distraction from yourself. They don't want you to know about yourself. So they hide it and make it exoteric. You know, they make it esoteric. Then they give you exoteric. Yeah, exoteric is all that rubbish. Narratives, historical, be it whatever. Even science is a bit biased because they don't show you nothing about yourself. But we have to start studying the right science, you know, the unbiased science, the universal science that's just there. It's us. That's all we've got to do. Start the repairing process, you know, the
No, I feel you.
healing process, you know, the first. Like I heard what brother said, land. Yeah, land is very important. You know, everything they've ever taken from Africa, it's not even 1% of what's still there. You understand? Everything they've ever taken in that 2,000 years, it's not even 1% of what's still there on the land. We're still on it. But people can't manage it. We've got idiots on there. You know, we in the diaspora, we've got a bit of, you know, ways, economic ways. We know how to make business. Let's go in there, take them out, because they can't do nothing with it. They've got the land, but they don't know how to control the land. They don't know how to manage it. You know, that's all we've got to do. Once you know yourself, you would be like, no, you take it back. It's yours. But to say that, nobody
Vic
owns the land, though. It belongs to the next generation. So you got to do the right thing. That's
Victor.
Yeah.
Victor, tell the people where you're from, because
I'm here.
Obviously, for those who don't know, Victor's from Africa. Tell the people where you're from, and then, you know, give them a little backdrop of what you think of where you're from in Africa, so they have context of where, you know, where you're coming from. And before you say that, big up to Spice. Well, go on, Spice. My apologies for today. Yeah, you should come on, Spice. Speak your opinion. Yeah, Vic, tell the people where you're from and speak on the African set.
Well, everyone have their own opinions and views about Africa. You know, there's thousands of different cultures there. You know, I'm from a small but part of a bigger ethnic group called the Gandangbe. You know, we reside now in Ghana. Yeah, but that's not our original home. Although it is our continent, we're from a different part and we moved down there thousands of years ago, you know? So yeah, the Gandangbe is where I'm from, you know? Yeah, so that's all it is, you know? But what we have to, that's to me, it's good to know that side of me. But what I'm saying is we've all got a price on ourselves now. We've got to study. That's all we've got to do. Just study ourselves. You don't need no one. The book's already been written. It's all there. The information is there already. You don't have to do nothing. You know, the only thing you have to do is just read and understand who you are. That's all. Just what I'm saying to you.
Yeah,
So
remember-
yeah, but I don't. What I'm
Oh,
saying
no,
is,
sorry.
it don't matter who. I don't like to sort of introduce myself in the. I'm just the messenger. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So just take what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who I am. I've
Don't
just
worry.
got to speak the truth. That's what it is.
Don't worry, Vic. We know you're not the Black Messiah. Don't worry. We know
Listen,
you're not Black
listen.
Jesus. Don't worry, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
listen.
we can all be we can all be that anointed, you know. I'm not exclusive. No one's exclusive.
That's the key element. It's understanding that any one of us can be empowered. So I wasn't assuming that you was saying they used the Black Jesus. I've never thought that. Let me just say that. But listen, to everyone else who's on the panel, if you got something to say, just unmute your mic and speak here. There's no order. Say what you got to say. Big up to Brother Minister. I see you in the chat. Grab the link and come in this place. Yeah, me offer your opinion. But to anyone else who's talking, Riggsy, I see you. Like, come on, unmute your mic if you've got it sorted. Let's hear what you got to say. Or continue. Sorry, Vic, to cut you. And anyone else who wants to talk.
Yeah. So just going back to that leadership thing, yeah. I don't think in these times we need a leadership, because a lot of people, like I said, minds ain't in the right place. Yeah, like I already said, we've got the blueprint there already to how to mobilize and organize ourselves in the right place. You know what I'm saying to you? Because every other race is not doing what we are talking about today. They're not doing it. They're doing it like practically. You know, they're not talking about it. So why can't we do the same thing? You know, every other race got their own banks, they've got their own school, they've got their own institutions, and they're moving with everyone else. They're doing business. So we can do that as well. You know what I'm saying to you? But before we can do that, we have to know ourselves. You know, if we study the one thing that's on everybody, yeah, automatically you become alignment with each other, because you're all studying the same thing. How to better yourself, wellness. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Live a good life. It's all there. It's the blueprint of the melanin. You know what I'm saying to you? Once you do that, automatically we all become in tune, because we're doing the same thing. We want to attain the highest. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So automatically, that's the only spiritual aspect of us that can link us together. Even if we have different denominations or we belong to different organizations. If you concentrate on your skin, automatically you will link with me. Synchronicities will get there. That's the simplest way. You know, we are the tool, you know. You know, we don't even need no guns. All you need is your brain power. If we collectively just think one way, boom, it's done. They're over. That's what they don't want you to know. So they do all kind of madness to distract you from whatever, from yourself. You know what I'm saying to you? So what I'm saying to us now, right now, the predicament is they're out to get us. Yeah. And they're doing it, yeah, silently. You know, silent weapons for quiet wars. If you know about that, yeah, silent weapons, yeah, for quiet wars. So they're doing it. So your best defense is to look after yourself in terms of boosting your immune system. Because the better your immune system is, the richer your melaskin is. And your richer your melaskin is, the stronger the electromagnetic field that protects your surroundings is stronger. Yeah, it's stronger. So we got to get into the science of melanin. You just made a point that what a gram of melanin is how much, brother?
495.
Right.
A gram.
How much is a gram of gold?
$49.
Well, you see the difference right there. They're telling you you're the most prized thing. Yeah? You're the most prized thing, but you've got it in abundance. Yeah? But what you doing right now? You're thinking madness. You're eating shit. You know, your lifestyle ain't good. You're wasting. You know what I'm saying to you? That you want to what? You want a leader to lead you. You can't, look, listen. You got to know yourself, man. In truth.
Well, Vic, let me ask you this, yeah? And Dion as well, if you can hear me. Feel free to chat. What's good, my dear? How are you?
Yeah, sorry, I was just texting. Hi, greetings, everybody. I forgot you could hear me. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's all. You got your mic unmuted.
Beautiful.
Lovely. So if you want to mute it, Yeah, so you don't get caught out cussing me off or something. Feel free, love. Yeah,
All
it's all
right.
good.
Nice. All right. Appreciate that.
But
Yeah.
what was I about to say? I just forgot what I was about to ask now. About the leadership. Yeah. So I was gonna say, yeah, because me and Jamal was talking about this earlier. In regards to, we got the marching, we got the rioting, whatever's going on in the different places. And let me be clear as well, the rioting hasn't taken here. There has been no rioting. There was some white boys that tried to go on with foolishness, but other than that, there's only been marching here in the UK. But when you're saying that you don't think we need a leader, Vic, and obviously Dion, you can chime in, George, Terry, whoever, do you think we're going to need a spokesman? Because I see you put up early, we don't need a spokesman to outlay anything. You think we're beyond that as well? You think we don't need that at all? We don't need any sort of organization at this point
I
to
think
push
we
anymore?
do. We definitely need a spokesperson. However, it needs to be somebody who we elect, not just some jumped up anybody who's got a big mouth. Right. Well, yeah, it's fine.
I feel you.
If you, like I said, horses for courses. You see, if you've got a guy who is terrible at farming, but he's amazing at banking or public speaking, then we can put that person up front, right? But if we've got somebody who's terrible at public speaking, but they're very passionate, it's not good. And additionally, and this is the thing for me, right? Because I hear this thing all the time. I'm speaking for the black community, and in my head, when I hear this, I'm just like, when did I consent to that? Excuse me? What? And then they say something that I don't agree with, and then just because they're speaking for the black community, it then becomes, well, if I open my mouth,
this is why we don't need a leader.
No, I disagree. I believe calm, cool, collected, rational minds should always consult and however and offer guidance, because to be fair, as like some people are sheep, some people need to be led by the hand, some people do, some people require that.
I agree.
But for me, I think it's imperative, it's of the utmost importance that the people that are quote unquote speaking for the black community are not just jumped up, anybody's. They need to be elected by said community. And with that, I need a drink of water.
Yeah. Rehydrate.
The grassroots. Yeah, the grassroots.
Go to D. What are you gonna say, D?
I think this is what I think. I just think that in all the communities, there's a benefit. I think it's about being able to galvanize people. I think as long as all the different communities have a similar, I'm just going to call it like a management credo, which is like a statement. This is what we believe. And whoever it is that is best at articulating that statement in whatever arena it is that it needs to be spoken, then that's the person to do it, because in that sense, they are representing that community. At the end of the day, the black community it's representative of different groups. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have a different mentality and mindset in accordance with whatever it is that's whatever it is, whatever it is. Oh my God, don't. But yeah, I hope that's kind of
That's big facts. That's big facts. And
understood.
this is why, for that very point, my sister, this is the reason why you cannot have a one person trying to lead, right?
No,
Because
Oh man.
yeah, I
yeah,
don't believe that it is a one
that,
thing. It's
for
like
that, yeah.
I think what we could eventually evolve into is maybe something like all right, I'm just using business terminology. Yeah, I'm just using business terminology. And it's a collective, you know, of the minds of all the different factions of our community coming together. At the end of the day, this is what we need, because it's not like we don't all need the same thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? In terms of our liberation, we all need the same thing. So it's just having the people, because not everybody is going to be able to articulate themselves. You know, like, okay, you know, like, you've got people who are going to be versed in the law. You know, there's communities amongst us that are more, they've got a better understanding of the law, of the language, of the implications of statutes and whatnot. There's other communities that they you know, it's not their ethos to kind of delve into it like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe their ethos is about health and spirituality. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that doesn't take away from the fact that we still need that.
Yeah, we've got all that. Yeah, we've got all the people in the right places, all qualified and everything. Yeah, we've got all the bankers, the lawyers, all the scientists. Yeah, but the only issue with us is we don't know ourselves. That's where the problem is. So we need, we need a workshop. We need a workshop, like a workshop of how to study what to do practically to enhance ourselves. Yeah, to get rid of all that mental baggage. Yeah, that's what we need. The system's already there. The model's already there. Yeah,
the mistake we're looking at is that we're focusing on leadership. In the family, it organically happens.
Yes.
Within the community, everyone knows their role within that household. When you have the whole family moving and doing what they're supposed to do, we should be focusing on the needs of our demands in each department. Once we are focusing on that, it will organically join together. But when you're forcing a narrative, you're going to have a situation where you're going to take yourself off the ball, because we're focusing on finding this leader, which is the same thing as a form of religion, expecting something to come to able to provide to pushing us forward, when we can push ourselves forward by ourselves. Like, as we have the mother will probably do shopping and cooking, the father might do the cutting and bring some money in, the children might do the washing. Everyone knows their role.
Yeah.
It's just for them, everyone to take charge of what they're good at. And that goes back to the extent of creativity.
Now look, let's get real here. Yeah, the relationship crisis we have in this country is immense. You know, everyone can tell you their story of relationships. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying to you? So I hear your model is very nice, but let's be real here.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? A lot of us have issues. Yeah.
Hold up, Vic.
Hold on.
You know what I'm saying? With the female, and the female have issues with us.
Vic.
Yeah. So we have to repair. We have to repair the mind. It starts with the mind. The mind's got to be right, man.
Can I say something?
The mind's got to be right, man.
Hey, Richie, I'm back. Let me jump in real quick. Right with that, what he's saying. He said about the mind. The mind has to be repaired. I was listening while I was in the store, and the conversation that's being had now is the conversations that, you know, our parents had, you know, our grandparents had. And, you know, it's just an ongoing conversation. But in today's time, the one thing is two things that have to be addressed. Like the brother said, we have to have a psychological change, you know, and we got to get rid of this white worship. You know, a lot of us know what we need to do, but doing the things that we need to do is the problem, like actually moving on it. Because, you know, we're caught up in this capitalist system, like our jobs, our way of life. We're not willing to give that up to create the things that that we're talking about, because creating the things that we're talking about would require us leaving our comfortability that we complain about. And that's the thing. Like a lot of times
Yes.
we'll come out and we'll come out and protest, say that, talk about the system, but then get up and go punch the clock for the system. So I mean, we got choices to make. What are we willing to sacrifice? And until we talking that, man, we just talking. But that's just
But that's my point, though. That's my point. That's my point.
But then
That's my point.
when people are going through traumas, right? How do you repair something that's already been damaged unless you teach the new generation coming up?
I agree.
The system itself, the only way you're going to defeat the opponents is if you go and get a nuclear weapon. But right now, it's a process of teaching the youth and creating that form of legacy. The only people that are going to create that legacy is that family.
Yeah, that's right. But where does that family stem from? That family stems from community, yeah? Or community stems from family. So the condition that we're in at the moment, a lot of us don't have family, but we have community. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like, if we can kind of, I don't know, if we're okay, so communities, you've got the Hebrew Israelites, you've got the Moors, you've got the Christians, you've got the Muslims, you've got the Kemites, yeah? If people have
That's all ideologies, darling. It's all ideologies. Yeah, it's all.
but within those ideologies are communities. Yeah,
No, but it won't work.
I'll say this. I mean, because I'm a Kemite, and I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is that we try to group Kemites in religion, and there's two totally different things. To be a Kemite is a nationality; it's not a religion. So the way
the ideology as well, no?
The way the Kemites moved, when you see those temples that we had, those were universities, those were schools, those weren't places.
Yeah.
Of worship. You see what I'm saying? So start to understand, how when we were great, when Black people were great, what civilization are we talking about? Right? We have to study.
Yeah, but we've had lots of great civilizations, though, not just Kemite.
I understand that.
Not just
When we were great, what civilizations were we at? What civilization are we talking about when we were our greatest? I should say, right? When we actually had things together and it lasted for thousands of years, right? So it's going to come down to a proper understanding of history and what they actually represent. Learning these different houses and not pitting them putting them against each other. Like what my brother had said, I want to veggie back on what he said. Diado, he had talked about, people are apprehensive to move out of what they're currently doing and go away from the white man's infrastructure, right? And the reason why is because they have nothing to go to. I was taught, when I to my awakening, if I'm going to take Jesus from them, right? I need to give them something as a replacement and not just leave them and say Jesus is fake and that's it. I need to show them how this happened, give them the history, and then give them something else that they can go to aside from worshiping the white Jesus. And I think that's the problem that we have in the Black community. People aren't going to leave their jobs to not have a job, to not have something to feed their families. We have to have something for them. We need Black hospitals. We need Black schools, right? We need Black grocery stores and things that we can go to. I think that that's the major issue. We haven't set up an infrastructure. So when the reason why I gravitate towards the Kemetic nationality, where I come from, is because I know they had that infrastructure set and they had schools set up to teach the future generations on how to do it. So and even if you look at America, it was built to mimic that. Even if you look at Washington, D.C., the entire infrastructure was built from the first brick by Benjamin Banneker to mimic ancient Kemet. See what I'm saying? So what are we going to give them aside from leaving what it is that they already know? What are we going to replace it with that will give them more,
I agree, but let me say this, because and I don't disagree with what you're saying, but that's why I was saying we don't have a community. We have places that we live, but we don't own nothing there for the most part. We don't control the economics there. So with everything that you said, there is no community. We're guests living in the ownership of other people's community.
That's right.
So for me, until we're willing to actually do the work that we've been saying for years and things that we complain about, then we're going to continue to suffer, because the blueprint has been laid. We know what we're supposed to be doing, but it's a psychological thing. We are afraid to leave Mr. Charlie's plantation. It is what it is.
Stockholm
We
syndrome.
like our PlayStation 4s. We like our Nike sneakers. We like the cars that we drive. We're not willing to give all of that up. We're not willing to sacrifice certain things in order to be able to properly teach. Because the thing is this, we got to build something that we can feed hungry people. We got to be able to feed them psychologically and their bellies. If we can't do that, then we can't challenge the system.
That's a
We
fact.
can't challenge the system and then go to work for them, because the kids is looking at you like, well, wait a minute, I'm ready to move, but you going to work.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Like, I mean, I'm just looking at it for
And
what
that's
it is.
what I was saying is, George, that's what I said, is that the majority of us, whether we like it or not, we're all going through traumas.
Yes, I agree.
And the thing is that we keep on fixating on us, that we're going to do and establish this miracle world right now, which is never going to happen just right straight away. But the best thing that we could do, as Jamal said, is creating that foundation, because it's about the next generation. If we're not teaching the next generation at least even a percentage of one of our organizations and combining it in a form of a Voltron, where are we going?
But hey, let me throw this in with you though, Terry.
I'm forgetting
But look, add this in, Terry, though. This is the problem. This is the problem here, right? The sister was saying about the different groups, like, she mentioned the Comedics, the Hebrew Israelites, the Moors, and different things, right? And I agree, but this is the problem. We'll come and say, well, we can't work together. But every last one of the majority of us get our black asses up and we go right to work for Mr. Charlie. We don't talk none of that religious stuff on his job. We don't say we can't work together. We work together right in his job, right? Doing what we got to do, but we won't come together. We won't come together and build our own cities or towns, but we live in the same communities. A lot of us live in the same projects, the same row houses. We live in the same communities together. Our kids go to the same schools, and we go to work for Mr. Charlie. When they come to working for each other, we'll argue. That's the psychosis that we got. We got crackatosis. We messed up.
And that's
it's by design. It's by design.
And that's why I say it goes back down to getting just even on a simple thing, 20 like-minded people coming together that are on the same level and able to push in a narrative to able to shine. But the problem is we're warring as an individual instead of us coming as a collective. Because if, like us on this panel right now, we can decide to say, this is what we're going to do. This is the foundation that we're going to do. And if we all agree to it, it's something that will create some form of foundation. So we don't have to concentrate too much on one specific, because we seem to do that in forms of, when the Black Lives Matter comes, or when coronavirus comes, we're concentrating on the things that are relative to our foundation.
I feel you on that.
I mean,
distraction.
I agree. I agree, but we got to address that, because it's just like it's like the people that's supposed to be conscious and woke do more spiritual gangbanging and religious set tripping than the gangs. Like these groups can't stand each other. They won't even stand on the same. Listen, I've seen grandmothers come out of church from praising the Lord and won't go to a black store because it's a Muslim, because they're Muslims, but go right into an Arab store and buy chicken. That's how messed up we are. I've seen it with my own eyes. I ain't going there, they Muslims, but go right to the Arab store and buy some fried chicken. Grandma, that's how messed up we are.
It's by design, they messed with our heads, it's identity, we identified it with ideologies that they created and gave to us, So that's what I said. The simplest thing to do is to identify with your skin. That's the simplest things to do.
Yes, I agree. That's
if you identify with your skin,
guys,
then automatically you become in tune with everybody that has the same skin as you. That's all.
Richie's saying so.
hold up, you guys. Listen, Spice, unmute your mic because I want to see if this sister's mic is working properly. Spice, unmute your mic and try and say something if you can. Can you hear me? Can you do it? All right, she must be still stuck. All right, cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. See, the issue that I have is, you know, I'm 45, and even when I came into knowledge over 20 years ago, the different groups understood everything that we're talking about now. The hypocrisy in the black community is I don't get mad at the kids killing and shooting each other. I get mad at the so-called woke people, the pastors, the imams, some of my Kemetic people, the Hebrews, all of the so-called people that's supposed to be woke, that live in these communities, that shop at these supermarkets, that go to work, that send their children to school. These are the people that's supposed to be woke. They won't come together to build nothing. We didn't just figure this out yesterday. They been knew this stuff, but they get out and they talk all this stuff, but they will not. They will not work together. They'll call the white man the enemy, the devil, and we got a common enemy, but these people still won't work together. And then when there's a shooting in the community, oh my God, we got to fix the community. No, you're the reason why it's the shooting, because y'all the ones that's supposed to be woke. They won't do it.
I'm a intervene on that, and I'm gonna disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, prove me wrong. I'd like to see this one. Prove me wrong. We all live in the same communities.
I mean, yeah, because you mentioned Kemite, so I'm gonna share my screen.
They're not separate.
Hold up, George. Let me hear why he disagrees.
I'm gonna share my screen so y'all can see this for yourself, so y'all don't think that I'm just like talking.
Bust it out there, yeah. Bust it out there. Let me see
if I can pull this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's everybody but the Kemites. The Kemites is the only ones that ain't a problem.
No, I got it's not. Let me say what I gotta say. So as you can see here, the top people in the communities are coming together. Here you have an atheist. Here you have Hebrew Israelite, Nation of Islam, myself representing Kemetic Nation of Islam. And this isn't the first time we've done this. We did what was called the wake-up call right here in my home. We're the first ones to do this in my hood. And we brought also Pan-Africanist brother Omar Johnson. And we come together and we sit down and we put our religious, our ideologies, everything to the side. And we uplift one another and we promote one another's platforms. And we do everything that we need to do. See, sometimes people look at debates and they think that we really bickering, not knowing that we call each other afterwards and be like, yo, you good? Like, what, you need something? You know what I'm saying? We're holding each other down and we sit down and we have these discussions in public so people can see what it's really like. Even though we have our different ideologies and stuff like that, we have no problem with coming together. Let me tell you what the issue is. The issue is getting the followers to want to do as we are doing. Because you know what the followers do. They say, really, you going to sit down with this brother? Don't you know that he from the Nation of Islam? Don't you know that she a Hebrew Israelite now? Oh, she, you know what I'm saying? Like, the issue is not the leaders, the ones that are out here actually doing what they need to do. The issue is getting the following to see the same cause and to us to actually do what it is that we're saying we are about. You see what I'm saying? So, and there are some people who are really not even in tune with their movement, but they talk a lot about the movement and they're not really attached to it. Like I said, when it was time for us to bang, we didn't see a lot of the people out there that was talking the most. You know what I'm saying? The leaders was out there doing what they had to do, leading from the front. But as far as the following, getting people as a collective to want to do what it is that they're supposed to do as a collective and follow suit, it's not an easy job. But just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not happening. Because this isn't the first time that this has happened. This is something that we've been doing regularly, and we've been traveling the states doing this. And some people don't even know that it's happening. Why? Because they themselves are not tapped into this frequency. When you tap into the frequency, you will find these different things going on because you're looking for it. It's not just about talking it. You got to be out there with your boots on the ground in order to see it actually happen. So I wanted to share that with y'all, let y'all know that there are people out here, and these are the leaders of these specific communities doing that.
All right, well, let me speak to that. Now, there's two things. The first thing is, as a leader, if you're called a leader, you have a following. You have people that's willing to follow. You have people that's agreeing on a common cause to move out with that, with somebody at the head leading. The problem is leadership has failed the black community over and over and over and over again. I'm from Philadelphia. I'm from one of the blackest cities in America. And we watch black leadership make promise and black leadership fail. We watch black leadership fight in public, in front of people, in front of the world, disagree, and do different things, sell the community out. Because like I said, we suffering from a lot of mental illness. And what I'm saying, all I'm saying is this: there are people on the grassroots levels that are doing things. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. It's happening here, but it's not happening on a large enough scale to galvanize and to wake up people. Because as a leader, your job is to wake up people, speak life to them where they begin to follow. If we don't have that, then it's no leadership there. They're not listening. The leader's job is to wake up the masses of the people. So and I end it with this. I'll end it with this. We don't have a mass movement where the same way the TV and the music and stuff has the minds of our people. There's not an awakening consciousness that's permeating through the minds of the people right now. That's moving. It's on grassroots level where you don't see it, and that's the problem. We got to be seen the same way Meg Thee Stallion is seen. We got to be seen. If not, it's a failure.
I think that it is. I think that it has to be supported, though. You see what I'm saying? It's one thing to be seen, and then it's another thing to be supported. We have our television shows, we have our radio stations,
but we got to give them something to support, man.
When
we got to give them something to support. We got to compete. We got to compete against the enemy. We got to give them something to support.
Right. So I think we all know what the problem is, right? Everybody knows what the problem is. I think that we have to be solution orientated to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. You know, personally, I'm going to invest in this. You know how hard it was for me to sit at a table, knowing the type of stuff that I talk about religion. You know how hard it is for somebody me to sit at a table with people that are die hard about their religion, about their God. It's not easy. You see what I'm saying? And to get my following to do it, like I'll tell you, I can only speak for myself. As far as the people that came and did what they had to do, the ones that actually threw the event on, they'll tell you the lighthouse came deep. We were in the whole show pretty much, and we was wondering where everybody else at. You see,
that's my point.
So, it's a matter of, I can only speak for myself in those situations, but I do know that there are things happening, and since we're the first generations of those that are doing it, we got to give ourselves credit too.
Hello, can you hear me?
About 400 years. We hear you, sister. We're talking 400 years.
I can bet.
Hold up, guys. I want to see.
I can barely hear anybody.
Go on, Spice.
We're talking 400 years of never seeing this happen ever. You've never seen people come together of different ideologies like that and sit at a round table and discuss common ideologies and put all that to the side. So when you're first trying some things out, it's going to take a while to build that momentum. But the key is to be consistent in it. Right. So this is our second time doing it. We're going to be doing it all over the country. And those of you on this panel, I highly invite all of y'all to get involved with it. You know what I'm saying? And actually just, be about what we're talking about, because there are some things happening. If I can provide that resource for you, more than likely, I'm going to put that invitation out to all of you guys. You know what I'm saying? Come on out and support these events, because, this is the movement where it's going right now. Everybody's starting to wake up and realize that we all have pieces of the knowledge and pieces of the pie to help make this thing work. We have everything that we need. It's just a matter of us putting our egos to the side and discussing it and making it happen.
Spice.
Where I agree with you that obviously we do need to. Hello, can you hear me now?
We hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, sis.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say that I said I agree with you that obviously it needs to be consistency, but obviously we can't have no consistency if we don't have a culture and a community. You understand? So we need to detach ourselves from all these negative connotations that we've assimilated as Black culture. You understand? And get back to being a community. And like Terry said, once that happens, everything will kind of come naturally. If we're on the basis of looking too much out of ourselves for everything, then we're going to be losing focus. You understand? And so I think it's really about us becoming a community in a way which we can heal ourselves and heal the trauma, and then we can pick up the momentum and have consistency, because all this thing is just what's happening now is like separate individualism, which is not conducive to us as a collective, because we have to understand that it's a collective consciousness that is what we really need to be focused on, because it don't matter what one person, black person, has. If you have things and your community has nothing, then you have nothing. So we really need to understand that community and culture, and that way we'll be able to mobilize and come together. You understand? Everything else is just individual trinkets that will like particles or molecules form themselves together and come together natural. But it's like we need to get back to our natural state, which is black family first. You understand? Family foundation first. You can't have anything without a foundation. So we need to be thinking about how we're going to serve our foundational purpose first. You understand? And I think when we do that, like things like mental health and trauma will tie in and be able to be eradicated, so we can be in our right state of mind. So I think all these other things like religion and other type of um aspect don't really serve a purpose without that. It's our foundation, because unlike other people, they can still operate because they still have a foundation. You understand? Even having a blueprint without actual strong structure of a foundation is pointless. Hence why we're here where we are now. So we need to get back to culture and unassimilating all the negative things that we are reinforcing as black culture. You understand? Because that's the only way. Because if we're operating in the same mindset that we are, it's a myth. You understand what I'm saying to you? And unfortunately, we hold accountability and cadence for a lot of the foolery that's going on. You understand what I'm saying to you? People can only do as much as you let them. So it's about culture and it's about community. You understand? And those are foundational core bases. You understand? Black family first. Understanding that, like Terry said, everybody plays their role. And you understand? We are natural beings. A lot of things come natural to us. You understand? So we have to tap back into that. We need to start assimilating this physical idea of worldly things, and everything is kind of generic. You understand? We are organic beings, so these things will come naturally. So if we start building back our foundation and our black families, all these things will come together. So that's
Yeah,
that's
I
how the
agree
way
with
I
you.
see it. That's my take on it.
I agree with you 100%. And I think the key thing that you said is that this stuff comes naturally. Like earlier, Richie had asked me, what type of plan do we need and stuff like that. But to be honest, going along kind of like what you said along those lines, is that it's going to come naturally. Because let me tell you something, even under the umbrella of saying, we're going to come together as Black America, what does Black look like, right? There are people that'll take offense to that, right? We have Moors that don't consider themselves to be Black. So I've had that argument where I've had to pull back a little bit and say, wow, even what I thought I knew was correct, there's a whole population and a nation of people that clearly I'm connected to that are just like me in spirit, but they don't call themselves Black. So putting a label on we can't even do that anymore. It's a matter of, like you said, something that comes natural to us, to where what I'm talking about, like he said, the spirit behind what I'm trying to say, who we are as a people, and that connection is going to come, like you said, through community and us doing things, relating with one another and having an understanding. Okay, this person comes from this walk of life. I need to study that walk of life so I can relate to that person. I can't have a relationship unless I relate to that person and know what they're thinking and their mentality because of their upbringing, where they come from. So knowledge is a part of it. This is why we need those schools that can teach these things so that we can help to understand. We have schools right now is teaching people about homosexuality at the age of 8 and 9 years old. You see what I'm saying? So they can teach what they need to teach. But as far as us and what we need to do to our young, we don't have those schools. So we need to have those schools that can teach what Hebrew Israelites think and what
Yeah,
Moors think. And we
sorry.
need those institutions.
I heard that, I heard that, brother. But but I heard that, brother. But if we're not in the right state of mind, then operating any form of institutions, it's going to be a myth, because it's not gonna. You understand? We're not in our right state of mind, so we need to really get back to where we're trying to build. I found, because you can't. We have institutions right now, with lack of community, and we can see what it's doing. It's further separating us. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, but when we understand what it actually means to be a foundation, do you understand? It's like we need to stop thinking that there's outside source is going to be the catalyst. I'm not saying it's not going to help, because obviously everything plays its part. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yep.
But it's not the catalyst. You understand? We need to go back, revert back inside, in-house. You understand what I'm saying to you? Sometimes we're reaching too much out-house. We need to be thinking about how we're going to come together in-house and sort out that, and then we'll be in clearer minds to be able to make institutions that are bulletproof. You understand? That solid, that won't be able to be easily, you know, manipulated, or to be able to be teared down, whether it's by people within us or even outside. You understand? Because the mindset will be so strong and then our level, and the basis of community and culture will be so embedded, where we've now connected ourselves back to self, and it's going to be it's going to be much more difficult. You understand? Because like, one thing about us, we're hype people, so we do things off of whatever emotion, or you understand, and come up with ideas, and not really thinking about, you know, the long term, or how to really make it solid and bulletproof, because of, you know, the things that we're dealing with, like mentally, and trauma and other factors. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that if we really go back in-house, all these things will come naturally, and then it will be more like a more solid structure. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Opposed to everyone thinking, if we get money into the community, our petitions, if we get institutions, we're not trying to build black people that just have money in institutions for the sake of. You understand? Because again, I have to remind, because I have to remind people, even if you have anything and your people don't have nothing, you don't have nothing.
Right.
And what is going on today is proof of that, because we have many people in positions and things, and we still don't have nothing.
That's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying to you? So we have to be real about the situation, and we have to understand that in order to now facilitate and arm the newer generation, because some people don't even get that. Some people want to have businesses just to be doing up bravado, and not even understanding the importance of generational wealth, and the positioning that, and accountability, and the position that we have now placed the next generation. You understand? Whether we're aware of it or not, and we have put them in a dangerous position. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And this is why family is thin, because what they're using is they're attacking the fact that we have no basis of community or real culture. We have separate cultures. Yeah, I have African culture, you have Caribbean culture, and we have all these separate cultures, and people might sit down and teach their children 1-2 words, and they yum food, and then they think that means you know culture. No. And some of our children are so far removed, they don't even know that. You understand what I'm saying to you? But it's the families.
Just to pick your brain a little bit, because you mentioned coach,
that is working and continue. And continue to.
I want to pick your brain a little bit, because you mentioned culture.
Go on, brother.
You mentioned culture
was you cutting in?
different times. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that it's different. Yeah, I can hear you.
No.
I'm not saying it's different, but people obviously, when we're in a
it might be a delay. Can you hear me?
Pardon?
Yeah, I think there's a delay.
You know I can't hear properly.
Yeah, there's a delay on your side, Spice. He wants to ask you something. Yeah,
you're gonna have to repeat that, because you know I'm having bare, like, it's crackling.
Yeah, he wants to ask.
No, Richie, no, let the guy think. Because when you talk, like, it's a myth, innit? Go on.
Oh, okay.
I wanted it completely cuts. Go on, America, brother.
I wanted to ask you, because you had mentioned culture different times. So I wanted to know, how do you see culture? Because there's a lot of cultures, right? There's all different types of cultures. If we're saying ideologies, even religion, it's a culture. So what ultimately would you define for the sake of delay, black, what would you define black culture as? So that we
Yeah,
can
but then we have we have we have um worldly assimilated culture. You understand? And even the where we're in a position now where our actual culture is being sold to us differently. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have actually the actual foundation and rooted, whether it's Kemet, whether it's Ashanti Empire, the Haitian River, you understand, or and the traditions and things that come from it, you understand. But at the end of the day, we need one where we're on one accord. We don't need to be in this thing where I'm African, you're Caribbean, this, that, that. We need to have one thing of understanding that
It
we
gets
are
silly from
one,
then on, innit?
and our main focus should be family. Pardon?
I like that. I like that. I think family is a
Obviously,
dope
I'm Ghanaian, so I
foundation.
have regard. Pardon?
I think family is a dope foundation to
Sorry, say that
start.
again.
I think family is a dope foundation to start.
Yes.
You know, and
Yeah,
ultimately,
to start with.
yes.
You understand? And
Because
stop
right
doing
now
this
we don't
little
even know what family is.
breaking up,
The question is, what is
like,
the culture
you
to
know,
identify
bring it all
with?
together.
I agree.
And bring it back all together. You understand? And stop doing all this kind of divisive kind of thing where you understand. And we need to really understand what our culture is. You understand?
What is
So
the
we're not going to be
culture?
assimilating, because we can't be having people sell us back something that we should already know, which we do know, which is already originally for us and in us. You understand what I'm saying? Because some people don't know what it means to be black other than what's been sold to us. You understand what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
because we're in a state right now where we're reinforcing negativity to our culture, it's like that is the
What is
catalyst
that
thing. And
culture?
unfortunately, when you talk, if you sit down on, pardon,
What is the name of the culture you're talking about?
Sorry, can you repeat yourself?
So what is the name of the culture you're identifying with?
What's the name of what culture?
The culture you're talking
It's
about.
black culture.
What is black culture?
I'm talking about black. Yeah, I'm talking about black culture, and I'm talking about the negative connotations that have been attached to black culture, which is very prevalent and very something that is everyone can see. You can't deny that. Black culture is not being revered in its true state and form. It's being revered for its negativity, and this is why other people could be comfortable of trying to sell it back to us. And obviously, when we're doing certain things, it's being demonized, and when other people outside of us are doing it, that's only when it's being even you get me, or even being able to take the spoon of medicine and put it up to someone's face. This is facts. That's just like unfortunately we have nigger behavior. It's a real thing. You understand what I'm saying? Nigger behavior is a real thing, and these are the things we're not talking about. Our greats and people that have like done things within our culture. We're not talking about that. People only know about revering people that we call celebrities
Okay,
and
I hear,
flippiness and
sister,
money and stuff like that, and that's it.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm struggling to identify a culture that you're talking about. I don't. You said black culture, but what is black culture?
All right, brother minister, you're on, yeah. So let me
Sorry,
hear what
brother,
you
say
got.
it again, yeah, because you're breaking up.
Spice,
Yo, can I add
Spice,
in something quickly, brothers and
yeah.
sisters?
Drop out, Spice, and come back in so your mic clears up again. Go true, brother minister. Well, go
Yo,
on, big
sorry,
up.
I'm listening to the chat. Yeah, I'm putting together this presentation as we speak. But I just wanted to add this culture here that we're gonna need. It doesn't exist yet. You know, we've tried with Pan-Africanism and other things, but these cultures wasn't really established amongst the people. Like this culture is I don't think we've across the globe we've had this culture, but it's a need now. The problems that we're facing, you know, we have to have a culture that's going to solve these things. And if we look at what culture means, like the root of it, it's basically solving our problems. I heard somebody mention the scholar Amos Wilson. He breaks down this to a T. You know, we kind of know the blueprints are there for us, but you know, the education, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think that we can just get the goal without education, that we can just go out there and move off of emotion, what I'm hearing a lot of, which is good because you need to have that fire, but at the same
Hello,
time,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, sister. But at the same time, we need direction with the fire. But the coach, to answer the brother's question about what this culture is, it don't exist yet, but it has to be a liberation culture. It has to be a culture that's going to liberate us from, you know, the oppressions and conditions that we're facing across the globe. But that's my 2 pence anyway. I hope that answers your question, my brother. And go ahead, Sister Black Spice. What was you saying?
Yeah, it's a liberation culture. It's a culture of understanding that where you're actually going to free ourselves and burn out the ideal of trying to be comfortable. You understand? Because that's another thing that we've assimilated to a culture of where we just want to be comfortable within this whole setup that's going on. Like it's a real liberation kind of thing where we're taking back ownership of who we really are. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, that's nice still. But you know, the brother that just answered the question, yeah, I get what you're saying, and I totally understand. I actually understand the reason why you said that culture that I was asking about is not there yet. Right. That will be true with a lot of the diasporans. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not trying to separate anyone or I'm trying to be divisive or anything like that. But hear me out now, yeah. The diasporans have different ideologies, yeah, that was created for them by the ones they call the demons, the devils. Yeah. They've got an ideology that was created for them, because if you hear what they say, they only speak one language, and that language is English. They have English culture with ideologies attached to it. Yeah, that's why everyone calls themselves whatever they call themselves.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying to you. So the thing is, Africans have a culture. Yeah, they're all cool. Their culture, but they've got a cultural name. They've got a language that carries that culture. Yeah, they all know it. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But the thing is, with them as well, they are very corrupted because their spirit, yeah, is being given to them by Abrahamic religions.
What so is as well, my brother? Sorry to cut you, but
hold on. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. So, in terms of this culture thing that you're talking about, the diasporans and the ones on the continent, the only thing that we all have in common is our skin. Yeah, that's the only thing we have in common. Is our skin, and the science behind our skin is the only thing that will liberate us in the times that we are in. 100%. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Because right 100%. Now, yeah, right now they are there to annihilate the ones with the most carbon melanated rich skin. That's the end game. Yeah. So you have to know how to protect yourself. Your skin can protect you if you know what to do. Yes, study it. The books are there about melanin. That's the movement that we need to do. Yeah. Once you study the skin of it, it opens more doors. Yeah. Into self. You get to know yourself within nature. Do you know what I'm saying to you? We are naturists. We were natural scientists. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All this spiritual talk is all romanticizing, you know, but the real application is there. You know what I'm saying to you? We have to be practical in everything that we do, but natural holistically. Yeah. Because nobody knows no culture. The only culture you must know right now is nature. Yeah, Mother Nature. That's the only way. And we all have that one thing in common: skin. That's it. When you study it, you will know what I know. Automatically, we become in tune with self. Yeah, vibrationally. Yeah, we can communicate through the ethers. Why? Because we have melanin in abundance. That's what they after. A brother just told me it's 400 whatever gram. Come on now. You're the best price. Yeah, but I don't want you to know that. So they distract you with all kind of labels. Black this, black what. Hey, you know the color existed before that name. Yeah? The color pre-existed. But we never called it black. Yeah? So it's the word. It's magic. It's a spell. When you use it, you're under a spell. Yeah? You get what I'm saying to you? So It goes with all the different labels out there. It's an ideology. But we are spiritual people. If your spirit is corrupted, no matter what you do, you will always fail. And they know that. They're logical thinkers. We've got to be logical. Yeah. And the only way to be superior logically, if you have to be in alignment with your true spirit. What is your true spirit? It's just nature, knowing about your skin, your melanin. Yeah. Start this movement. Yeah. You can do it. I'm not exclusive. Who's exclusive? Everybody's got melanin, but we just happen to have more of it. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Everything's got melanin, but we just happen to have more of it.
But
So
Vic,
everybody can be a leader in their rights. Everybody can be their leader, but knowing yourself in truth. That's what I've got to say.
Victor,
Yeah.
this is the question, yeah? When you're talking about culture and you're hearing Brother Minister say what he was saying about making one, and I want to hear your opinion on this as well, Brother Minister. Do we need to readapt the current cultures that are in Africa, or do we need to create a new one? Or is that only subject to if we're staying in this country or United States, to if we're going back to Africa? Is there a difference? Does it make a difference? Do we need to just find our original spot and find a place and adopt that culture? Wagwan Riggsy.
Listen, like I said, yeah, you know, all the cultures in Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, all the cultures in Africa, they're a little bit misguided. Yeah, because their spirit is attaining to Abrahamic religions. That's the wrong move. Yeah.
No, that's a lie.
Listen. I know they're traditionalists. Listen. I'm an African, so listen.
So
There's
am I.
traditionalists there. They are traditionalists there. They are traditionalists there, right? Traditionalists that don't subscribe to the Abrahamic faiths. I know that. Yeah, I'm from one family like that. Yeah. So I understand. They've got shamans, they've got things, yeah. But all I'm saying is, yeah, they're not applying the right science. Because if they were, we won't be in this situation. Because, bruv, listen, we are what they call gods. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So if you're traditionalist in your little hut, doing your little voodoo, whatever you call it, and you're not really progressing in your science, yeah, in your science, on your art of whatever you do, then what's the point of you? Look at the situation we're in right now. What is the solution that they have? Okay, they might have some herbal stuff, you know, to boost your immune system. But where's the real science? Come on,
listen,
we need the
Vic,
real science.
Vic, you see what you're saying, yeah, and this is why I want you to be clear on what you're saying, because when you talk like that, it sounds like, again, you're kind of saying the culture that was existing, that, you know, has been existing. And again, we know about the overview of the Christianic or Abrahamic faiths, whatever. But when we're talking about the original African people's cultures in the different places, are we saying that that's not needed? Because even when you was describing, yeah, this man doing his little this and his little voodoo, and it sounds like there's no value to it. The way you're talking.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's there. But all I'm saying is it's corrupted. Yeah.
So come in, you want a commentary as well. Sorry.
Yeah, it's there. We don't have to.
I'm listening.
Yeah. It's the mindset, you know, it's already there. The system, the model's already there. Yeah, it's there. Everything's there.
Victor, 1 minute, Victor. But what I'm saying is, sometimes not everything's for everybody's ears. Do you understand that?
Yo, sorry. Let me just say this before I forget. Sorry to interject. To what I was saying before, yeah, you see the new culture that I'm saying that needs to establish. Yeah, you kind of even answered it, because you said, you know, the color of our skin. That's what's uniting us across the globe. That melanin, the carbon, or however a man wants to define that. That is the common thing that is gonna unite us. When you look at current or ancient African culture, to my knowledge, yeah, there wasn't necessarily a unity across the whole globe in the sense of what you would have or what we're trying to create now. So like, for instance, in Africa, you have different tribes where they live to their thing, you know, they may fight amongst each other at different stages in history or whatever, but there wasn't a unity that we can establish now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think, to my study of history anyway, that we've had that on the continent. So I think that color of the skin is a major thing that we can't forget. And you wanted to tap into the science of the melanin.
That's the most important thing, brother. You got it spot on. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the melaskin
and that's what's
movement,
linking us. Last point as well, my brother, before you can come in. And that skin color, or our skin color, is what's linking us across the whole face of the earth. That same skin color is why these people are trying to kill us. So that is a common unity amongst all of us that we should, unite on. Because on the call now, we've got brothers from the continent, people living in England, brothers in America, sisters all over the world, and the experience is the same. Everything that we go through it because of our color of our skin. And that's what we need to unite on. It's not about your religion. You could be a Buddha, you could worship a tree, you could worship even Haile Selassie if you really want to. But what we're saying is, that the color of the skin is what counts in it, and that's what we should be uniting on. That should be the focus. Everything else,
study the science of it. Yeah.
But that's my last point still, man. I got work to do. I'm still listening though. I will jump in if need be, man. But
all right, brother Minister, big up for that. Yeah, big up for coming on, bro. Because I was looking for
respect. Big up, brother Minister.
And so basically, as I was saying before, regardless of the color always is organic. We got to remember how did they work it before? We're too fixated on names and parameters, because if you take away landmass and you take away language, we are the same people. We're just roaming on different parts of the land. So in forms of our understanding, majority of we know where we are, and we know we're going through a trauma, but it's someone that could be damaged trying to teach someone else that could be successful. Instead of us trying to repair ourselves, is to be able to build a new foundation, and that new foundation will come from us, because most of the youth today, they don't look at it in that perspective. They don't bring religion or nothing like that. It's like even when you go to Nigeria, they see it as Nigeria. The elders don't see it as Nigeria. They see it as family. Because when we talk about tribes and all that stuff, it's all about family.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should just refrain from using the tribe thing. I mean, tribe is a bit more barbaric, Use ethnic group, yeah?
Yeah, but that's what I was saying to you. When you say family, you understand, okay, that's the family over there. How do we engage? We always have a woman on one side and a man on one side. How we come together in that form of marriage. We don't care about the religion or what concept, because most of what we have, we all have the same culture, and that it goes back to that DNA.
Yeah.
So it's as I said to you, it's the European concept that has messed quite a lot of things up in its perspective. That the ideology, the framework, is based on European ideology.
Absolutely, you're 100% correct, but it's the discipline, we lack discipline, to do the simplest thing. We lack the discipline, like how to live healthily, that's a simple thing that we have to do as the original people of this planet. The simplest thing to do is to live holistically. We can't do that, so if we can't do that, because if we do that naturally, all our traumas and psychological issues will go away. That's how you heal yourself, by living healthily. Wellness is very important. Yeah, that's the basic foundation of every nation. Yeah, you live good. You know what I'm saying to you? We have to start from there. Yeah, automatically that will cleanse you of all the pathogens that are inside of you. You know what I'm saying to you? You look after yourself, because your cells are waking up. Yeah, your cells inside of you right now are waking up. So you need to help them. Yeah. So once you help them, automatically you begin to understand who you are. You know what I'm saying to you? Once you begin to understand who you are, when you look at somebody that looks like you will give them reverence, you respect them, because you know what it is, what you're looking at.
Vic,
You see what I'm saying to you? That's where the self-respect come from, because you're
Victor.
doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Victor,
Yes, sir.
I don't wait. I'm gonna ask you something. Terry, did you want to say something first?
No. I'm just, as I said to you, I'm listening. Observation is always key.
Victor, this is what I'm gonna ask you. Yeah, as an African, what's the role of the African in the liberation process? Because again, me and you have spoken in real life, yeah, and we've spoken about your personal culture. We've spoken about African culture, and we've also spoken about the lack of culture here in the diaspora, like we have here tonight. But in your opinion, what's the role got to be of the African? What's the connection got to be to the diaspora? Like, is there a role, or is it the diasporans that just need to come back?
Yeah, I get your question. It's a twofold, as if threefold, yeah, because it's a deep question in the sense that if you to look at Africans today, just on the real, yeah, the mindset of the average African today, I mean, come on, they don't know themselves. Yeah, they don't know themselves. We have to be real. Yeah, because if they did, they will be the beacon of the world. Yeah, the truth is in the pudding. We're getting trampled on right now. You know what I'm saying to you? So, yes, you might have some good movements, grassroots movements, and they're doing their things, but collectively, it ain't happening. So something's got to give in it. Something tells you that the culture aspect that they need to teach the diasporans ain't really happening. So that's why I say we have to begin with the basics.
Well,
yeah? No matter what you know, at what level are you at, whatever. Yeah, you have to start with the basics.
Vic, is it the majority of the people that are, because like we know Christianity's mad, Islam, mad level.
That's it. That's it.
But hold up, compared to the majority of people in Africa, yeah, the majority isn't on that. So again, in regards to the cultural aspects of it, yeah, you being from Ghana, you being from Nigeria, whatever, the names, the food, the mores, the stories, yeah, is that needed? Is that as important for the people from the diaspora, or is it all about us having a different culture here, or making up culture based on those bits that we take from over there?
Those stories you're alluding to have been told, yeah? Those cultural stories have been told many times over. We've heard about them.
So they're not relevant anymore. Well, are you saying they're not relevant?
What I'm saying to you is, yes, yeah, you just have to look at reality for what it is. Today, what is the state of the African race? Yeah, as a people, collectively, what is the state of us? Our mental state.
Let me ask you this. Do you think as black people we have, and this is a question, and everyone, I would like Terry to answer this, and Brother Minister and everybody at some point, but do you think we have a different world view and a reality view from white people? And if we do, like, again, when we're talking about liberation or problem solving, is it then gonna inherently look like or come from the current solutions that we're thinking right now?
We only have a worldview that was given to us. Yeah, we're not operating from our original self.
It's whitewashed.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? We're operating from their paradigm.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. We're not.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? So we're just tricking ourselves. We need to go back to ourselves. Yeah, we are the original people. We have our natural and universal law. The laws that we follow are man-made. So you're operating on a man-made paradigm. Yeah? So you are an original people. How do you become an original people? You study yourself. Once you know yourself, you will know you're not like them. Then you will go by natural law. Natural law is there. Yes, they use it, but they superimposed onto that man-made law. And they're using that to govern you because you don't know yourselves. So once you know yourself, you just take whatever's yours. That's all it is. But you have to know yourself in your true essence. By doing that, you cure everything. Your mental state is cleared up because you know who you are. They know who you are. Yeah. But to distract you of yourself, they'll give you labels. They'll give you a system to work with. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying to you? They give you democracy, but hear this. They give you democracy, but they are capitalist. Yeah. So how can you have a true democracy in the capitalistic system? There's no such thing. You know what I'm saying to you? But they've deceived you with that, though, innit? Yeah, because you're operating from a man-made law. Yeah. In universal law, you are a free man, free woman. But you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. That's what I'm saying. The movement of men.
And a lot of people don't even. Sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. And a lot of people don't even understand that spiritual governance is over everything every time. You understand? So
that's all it is.
Walked up on the physical and the worldly thing that people don't even understand that. And to answer your question is, right now we're not operating as ourselves, bruv. We're operating as black, white people, whether you like it or not. So
that's right.
We are so whitewashed, and we've assimilated their way, their culture, their behavior, their mindset. So in order for us to, this is why we have many conversations, and we can't really be trying to carry this westernized idea back to Africa, because it's not going to work, because it's not of us. So we really need to like realize and go back to our natural state, and this is not it. Because a lot of people, in your behavior, the way we talk, you have freedom of speech. I hear people talking about, we have diplomacy, we have all this type of stuff, we have humanitarian, we have the kumbaya, we have the compassion. That's their fake ideals that they're selling to us, which they don't even stand by. You understand? And have sold to us. So we need to understand that we have fully lost our own identity. We are actually black, white people. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
How far people
are
assimilating that, and how far that is embedded in you, and how practical your everyday with that is on an individualistic basis. But right now, being in this diaspora, that's exactly what it is, bruv.
Yes, you know what I mean.
Exactly
And the thing is, the thing is as well. Yeah, this utopian world of this black liberation movement, like it's gonna be just a black. No, listen, the world is diverse now. Yeah, very diverse. There's a lot of mixing. You know what I'm saying to you. So what you got to do is know yourself. Yeah, in righteousness. That's all. You can deal with everyone.
I mean, I know about the whole diverse thing.
Yeah. Listen, but it's already there. No, all I'm saying is, if you know yourself, hold on.
No, but
listen, but you know yourself now, though, innit? If you know yourself in truth now, you won't go off, would you?
Victor.
Yeah.
Listen, her mic is already messing up, so you have to take time and let her chat, or she's not gonna be able to hear you properly.
Okay. Yeah, but no, all I'm saying is, the mix has already been done. So if you're knowing yourself now, and you know what's true to you, why would you come off the path? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but ain't no hating no one. Yeah, all I'm trying to say is know yourself in truth. Yeah, then you can mingle with everyone, but you have to know yourself in truth. Is this as simple as that? But we don't want to do that. We don't want to do the work. But yet we're looking for a savior. Nah, it ain't gonna happen, bro. Do you know what I'm saying to you? We can all be a leader in our own rights.
Yeah, but I heard that. Yeah, I heard exactly. Everyone, and when you tap in, everyone will be a leader in their own right as an individual, which will make us stronger. But to see the whole diversity thing, I hear what you're saying, but where we're at, where we don't know ourselves, it's a dangerous thing to even call out the diversity thing, as if to say it's something that we should really just come to terms with. Because for me, I see it as dilution. You understand? And because we're lost, it's like everyone, we want to be doing up, like you said, you have to be real in it. So we want to be doing up kumbaya with everyone.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
hold on, it's leading us not to understand what our real situation is, and we have enemies among us, you understand? And
Yeah,
then we
but
have enemies outside ourselves. So we
yeah,
can't
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
kumbaya with everyone, like, and this
I
whole
get what you're saying, but
humanitarian kind of
you
thing.
know,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
but
what I'm saying to you,
yeah,
because we're human, and it's to do with human. It's not to do with manly thing and kumbaya, because like you
no,
said, you have to be 100 with what exactly is going on, Bridget. And
yeah,
everyone's not for us,
yeah,
regardless
yeah,
of or how much ends we're put. Hold on, of how much ends we're in, how much people we have. You understand all these type of things, Bridget. That's the another state thing. Like, I agree with you when you have to get real with the real crux of the situation. You understand what I'm saying? But for me, when I hear that diversity is like a get out clause of, oh,
no,
can we
no,
come
no,
kumbaya?
yeah,
We're not
yeah,
in a
yeah, but
state to be kumbaya. We need
yeah,
to get
it's
back
not.
to our thing, and we need to go back into warrior mind
Yeah, I
mode. I
hear what you're
mean, go
saying.
on.
Yeah, mate, yeah, I hear what you're saying. But what I'm trying to allude to is, yeah, once you go back into yourself, automatically, yeah, you know thyself. That's all I've got to say. You don't, you just know thyself. You know, not without saying too much. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But we live,
Of
yeah,
course I do.
in a world where
That's
there's
what it's supposed to be. You're
diversity.
supposed to know yourself.
Yeah, we live in a diverse world. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're in the diaspora right now. Yeah, how you're talking is like, let's move to Africa right now and lock the borders.
Yeah.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen. We have to be realistic. You know what I'm saying to you? But if you know yourself, you will sell through. Yeah, people will get to recognize who you are in your true light. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And if you look in the mirror, why would you want something else? So it's all coded, yeah? Yeah, it's all coded. So when I say diversity, I don't mean like if you're awakened, yeah, you slide back into ignorance. Nah, I'm not
Yeah,
saying.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah,
Look,
yeah, yeah.
no,
You
I
get what I'm
mean,
saying to
yeah,
you?
I
Yeah.
mean, I obviously what you're saying. You're trying to say
That's
that
what I'm saying. So,
obviously
but
in the
once you study
situation where,
yourself,
yeah, where we're in the diaspora, where it is, yeah.
yeah, because everyone else is doing business. You know what I'm saying to you? But they're doing business on our ignorance. We can economically get together and do things.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? We can do, you know, I'm not hearing they've got a Black Pound Day. If they carry that on every year, I mean, that's good, isn't it? We can do it without talking about it. Just do it. Because we got everybody in the right places. But the only thing is the spirit and right. Because we are spiritual people. Yeah. But a lot of us are corrupted spiritually. Yeah. A lot of the men are spiritually castrated. You know what I mean? They're spiritually castrated. So no. But they've got this illusion that they're man of the house. How is that if you're spiritually castrated? You know what I'm saying to you? It's an illusion. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's
And
a
you don't know
matriarchal
yourself.
thing. Yeah. It's a matriarchal thing, you know? It's the woman. But hey, listen, a lot of the women are bowing down to Jesus as well and Allah. You see the schism there? It's a mad schism. So we need to get back to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah? We need to. Because right now,
I have Vic.
Yo.
1 second. Terry, where you at? Briggs, unmute your mic if you're there, bro. I need to ask you something. Yeah. Because, again, I don't know whether people know, but, again, Riggsy's another African. Same as myself. Yeah, I did want to ask him something. I don't know where he's gone now. Because we're hitting that 3 hours now. So
But what was the question that you're trying to ask, Richie? I think you're forgetting that I'm African too. What is the question that you're trying to ask?
No, I just wanted to know
the role that Africa plays in this thing.
That's it.
Hold on 1 minute, Victor. Say it again. Is the role that Africa plays in this? Yeah. Well, but like what the brother said, obviously we're in the situation where we're even being dominated at home, innit? So that has to get burned out. You understand what I'm saying? We're also in a position where we have corrupt leaders. So that has to get burned out, innit? But I think that in order, I don't know, sometimes it feels like we're doing it in reverse. You understand? I do believe that it maybe needs to start within Africa, where we shed ourselves of certain things. Like, you get me? Get our leaders on par. You get these people out. Get to a point where we know ourselves. Like, even though we're trading and doing business with these people, it's not to our detriment. You understand? And then also be the beacon, like you said, for the diaspora. and then that will work. I think we play a big part because, like I said, when I'm talking to people, a lot of homegrown Africans also don't know their well, they do know their culture, but are very much white, just as much whitewashed as we are over here in the diaspora. You understand? So then it becomes more confusion. You understand? And then they're dealing with whatever they're dealing with back home, which makes there be a disconnect. So I think that it has to be where we kind of clean up in-house and get rid of our crap leaders and be in a position, like the brother said, to know ourselves so that we can trade and do business with the people where it's beneficial and conducive to connecting the diaspora back to Africa. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So I think we do play a big role. We can't just sit down, and this is why things like the year return and stuff like that, it is good, because that's a little connection, to, and that's them obviously stepping forward and understanding that their role in the whole situation of trying to connect back the diaspora to the motherland. You understand? But I think, like, right now, where a lot of things are going home, back home, that needs to as well, because we can't go back and then we're dealing with the same kind of ideals and the same kind of, you understand? It doesn't make sense. So I think we obviously need to do some cleanup over this one as well. You understand? And then, but it's more a mindset. And like I said, a lot of these people have been colonized as well, to the point that they're now believing what they believe their own culture to be, bar tribes, you understand, by the white man. This is how deep this is. So we have to find a way to rectify that. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? Yeah,
Yeah,
because I think
makes
that's the way forward.
All right, no
Yeah,
doubt.
I think
Listen,
that's the way
we've
forward.
hit the 3 hour.
But they do
We've
play
hit
a
the
big
3 hour
bro.
mark.
Go on.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say, listen, we hit the 3 hour mark, yeah. So I'm gonna wrap it up now. But anyone who wants to say their final thoughts before we go, get it out, say what you gotta say before I close on the stream. Big up to everybody as well who's joined us. Yeah, it's been a nice show. I'm glad that we've had different.
It's been really nice. Yeah, thanks for Rich. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. And yeah, thanks for everyone that's been on live today as well. Great points, yeah. But all I'm saying is, yeah, we have to repair the mind, man. The mindset of the people ain't right. Yeah, and the easiest route to get there is to live wellness holistically. So I'm saying we can't depend on Western medication for whatsoever. So I'm saying we have to know the science of what herbs and things does to our body. You know what I'm saying to you? That's the basic fundamental for every melanin skinned person on this planet. You know, it's a basic fundamental. Know about herbs, man. The science behind that. That's all I got to say. You know, family, that's what you got to do, man. When you study your science of the skin, when you see me on road, yeah, you know what I'm saying to you? You just hail up the next man or the next gal, just because we know. Yeah, we know ourselves. That's how the love comes from it, platonically. You can get what I'm saying to you? So that's what we got to get to. Yeah, all these, you know, new age spiritualism and all that. Nah, it's all money making thing, man. It's a capitalist thing. Yeah, it's simple and it's free. You've got it on you. Look in the mirror. Who do you see? Yeah, that's all I got to say. Know thyself.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been very insightful indeed. Have a blessed night.
That's all, D. Big up.
You too, man.
Big up
I'm
yourself
shattered.
every time.
Oh my gosh.
I hate you. I'm tired now myself.
I'm tired,
Prime
man.
Minister, you're unmuted. You got something to say? All right, listen, what I'm gonna say is
yeah, man, respect, man. And you know, I wish I could have added more to the discussion today, but you know, I was busy doing some other work, so I know how it goes. But,
no. Just get that presentation done, brother. Yeah, I'm waiting on that Marcus Garvey presentation. So I know you're doing the works. So don't worry, I feel you, I appreciate you.
Yeah, respect, man. And Yeah, bless up everybody else on the panel, man. Respect.
All I'm gonna say is, listen, if it's not about black family, then I don't know what you're talking about. Because before you got any issues attached to you, that's where it all begins. Yeah, your inception of nature, God, whatever concept you want to come with, and of self starts there. Yeah, so if we're not trying to repair that, then I don't know what we're trying to build. You understand? Whether you're trying to build a temple, an organization, a nation, a village, you understand? If the family's not addressed at the core, the heart of it, then it's going to be a problem. You understand? So this is what we need to remember. This is the thought I want to leave people with. You see the black family first on the screen. Go sign up to the Instagram. It's there, Black Family First. Support Mr. Riggs' New Beginning. Support Black Ice TV. You understand? So we can keep bringing the shows. It's been a good build today. We've had our Africans, we've had our West Indians on, we've had our brothers from America on. So again, it's a nice diverse chat. I'm not sure what next Tuesday's chat is going to be about. I gotta think about it, but it's definitely going to be on and popping. There will be some other shows going on during the week. Look out for Total Exposure, which will be on Thursday like normal, but there definitely will be some more shows, and we've got the Kemetic New Year coming up, so there'll be a couple more shows in that theme as well. So big up to everyone that's joined us today. Shout out to Brother Konsu in the chat. Yeah, me next time I want you on as well. Big up to Riggsy for joining me. I know he's in and out. But yeah, nice one to everyone. Yeah, peace and love.